I get this if you want to make sure you're not going to have any people slipping or sliding when it rains.
Commercial or residential, 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it comes with a lifetime warranty.
The end result was just super. It was very easy to keep this surface clean. I had tire tracks all over it, and I just took out my hose, sprayed it down, and it looks just like new again.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com and remember to like us on Facebook. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. We are out of this world.
When you get hit by hail in Colorado, and you will, you better have a roofer on speed dial. I do, and it's Golden Spike Roofing. With over 70 years of combined roofing experience, they've not only seen everything, they've fixed everything. And they're honest, licensed, and insured. So if you get hit with hail, high winds, or know you've got an older roof, call for a free inspection from Golden Spike Roofing. Just call 303-942-1386. That's 303-942-1386, or find them online. GoldenSpikeRoofing.com.
Done right, did right by me. We've heard those words before. Hi, Dan Cicchini. For kitchens done right, our forte is custom kitchens. But also, ever since we started back in '85, kitchen cabinet refacing and custom countertops. With our unique refacing process, you'll get a brand new looking kitchen without the mess, hassle, time, and expense of total kitchen replacement. How's it done, Todd?
Folks, we'll install custom hand-rubbed cabinet doors and drawer fronts and resurface your existing cabinet boxes with a 1/4-inch thick overlay to match, not veneer. We offer additional cabinets, cabinet changes, sliding shelves, and new drawers, countertops in quartz, granite, solid surface, or the stunning new laminate. Dad, the folks should call now. Why?
Well, Todd, great cash incentives or a special financing rate of 0% with 72 equal monthly payments with approved credit. Call for details. Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors. Finished basements and windows and doors. Done right. You have our word. We'll treat you right at Done Right. DRHI.com, 303-722-2295, or 800-362-8370.
630 KHOW in your car.
On my way to work in the morning.
And wherever you go.
On my phone when I'm walking the dogs.
It's now easier than ever. You can now set Denver's talk station as a preset.
Awesome. Doing it now.
On the free iHeartRadio app.
Well, it's all right. Riding around in the breeze. Well, it's all right. If you live the life you please. Well, it's all right. Doing the best you can. Well, it's all right. As long as you lend a hand.
So Senator Michael Bennet, who's been in Washington, D.C. well more than a decade, now is saying that he can do Colorado more good as our governor. Can you please list me all the accomplishments that Michael Bennet did as a senator for anyone? The U.S., Colorado, Coyotes, I don't know. I think that's just a laughable statement from the senator.
Michael Bennet, I think, is going to be the odds-on favorite for this governor's race. If you think differently, please let me know. He will have the money. He will have the name recognition. But we've got to remember why he's even there. It's because Republicans continued to let him win by imploding on the Republican side. He is by far the luckiest man in American politics. Hey, I'm John Caldera. Give me a call, 303-713-8255. I hope you check out Independence Institute, my little organization. Go to thinkfreedom.org. That's thinkfreedom.org. Sign up for the newsletter at the very least. Check out Complete Colorado every day, CompleteColorado.com, where you've got an aggregation of all the day's news, and you've got columnists like me and Mike Rosen and all sorts of folks, and unique reporting. And best of all, there's never, ever, ever a paywall. It's there for you to use. It's free. CompleteColorado.com. Just give it a try. You'll get hooked, I guarantee. Michael Bennet is likely going to be our next governor. That's how I read it right now. I don't think there is a Republican who can win. I know we've got Scott Bottoms, and I'm trying to remember who else, and Greg Lopez, It doesn't matter who wins the nomination. They are all going to get destroyed. So whoever wins the Democratic primary is going to win. But if you're unaffiliated, you can vote in either primary, which means that those people running in the Democratic primary are going to have to talk to people more in the middle. And I understand Phil Weiser, Michael Bennett, it's definitely a Mussolini or Hitler vote, but I think I'd rather have Mussolini. And I think that's what we get. Bennett is a bit more modest, moderate of a Democrat, I think. But how did he get into office? Well, he was appointed there by Bill Ritter when Ken Salazar got tapped by Obama to be Secretary of the Interior. So he didn't have to run a campaign. His first campaign was against Ken Buck, who was a good candidate but made a couple unforced errors. And then we gave him more and more candidates he could not lose to. Republicans would not put up a winnable candidate. And now we're going to be stuck with Governor Bennett for probably 8 years. God help us. Mr. Brown, thank you for letting me sit in. It's always a pleasure. I'm John Caldera. Keep it right here.
Follow Michael Brown at Michael Brown USA and stay connected with all of us at 630 KHOW, KHOW.com, and on the iHeartRadio app. Tom Martino is next on Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Auto dealerships are just too expensive and too difficult to schedule, so I went on a mission to find the best independent service garage, and after interviewing several, I've been using the Garage Now for years. So for all of your auto needs, regardless of make or model, schedule your service right next to my cars at the garage. Go online right now to thegarage.expert and schedule your service. You tell them Michael Brown sent you. That's thegarage.expert.
If addiction, trauma, depression, or anxiety are affecting your life and family, the Raleigh House is here for you. The dedicated team of professionals at the Raleigh House provides a premium level of care for substance use and mental health disorders. We believe recovery is possible. Your journey to healing and a healthier life begins here. The Raleigh House can help. Visit theRaleighHouse.com to get the help you need. That's the RALEIGH house.com. Take the first step towards a brighter future today.
Man, I am happy to tell you about the only realtor that made the cut for Team Dave Logan, and that is Troy Hansford. I recommend Troy because he's the only agent that will guarantee to sell your home at your price, or he'll write you a check for $5,000. And the good news, he puts that in writing. He can make that guarantee because he spends tens of thousands of dollars generating demand. And right now, he has hundreds of approved home buyers ready to buy. He just doesn't have enough houses. So if you have a house, Troy might have that perfect buyer for you right now. Give him a call, 720-900-4433. Let me give you a story. Just last week, Troy listed a house that was on the market for almost a month. You know what? Troy sold it for full price in less than a week. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy will buy your house for all cash, and he can close in as little as 7 days. Call Troy and get your home sold for the most money. 720-900-4433. Again, that's 720-900-4433. Troy Hansford with RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions apply.
Hey, Tone, can we talk?
What now, Calm? Can't you see I'm trying to eat here?
Look, those guys you hired to paint the house last year, the paint's chipping so bad there's more paint on the lawn than on the house. I'm embarrassed to have friends over, and people are talking, Tony.
Those guys owed me a favor. It's cheap.
Cheap is what the house looks like. I want Rhino Shield to come and coat the house. Capiche?
It's just spend with you. I work hard, you know?
Listen, I did the research. Rhino Shield comes with a 25-year warranty, so we'll never have to talk about this again. I already called them, Tone, and I got an estimate. It's cheaper than having those so-called painters of yours come out every few years and do whatever it is they do.
All right.
Then I did the research.
Can I just eat in peace, please?
Need your home painted again? Call Rhino Shield now, and you can just forget about it. Visit rhinoshieldco.com. That's rhinoshieldco.com, and you'll never have to paint again.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code OIL25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code OIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code OIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code OIL25.
This report is sponsored by Redpilled America.
Lots of sunshine today with above average temperatures in the low 70s. We'll drop to a low tonight in the mid 40s before climbing back to the mid 70s tomorrow. I'm Brenda Stewart.
What's an American? It sounds like an easy question to answer, but it's not so simple. This week on Redpilled America, we take a deep dive into this question, and what we found will shock you. Listen to Redpilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Redpilled America, a storytelling show.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeart radio station. Make us the #1 preset on the free iHeart Radio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Jury selection has begun at Harvey Weinstein's retrial in New York. The movie mogul's sexual assault conviction was overturned on allegations of prejudicial testimony and improper rulings. Weinstein once again pleading not guilty. There's a court hearing this afternoon on the Trump administration's resistance to a Supreme Court order to facilitate the return to the U.S. of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man mistakenly sent to a prison in El Salvador. The administration says it cannot be done. However, says ABC's Terry Moran,
Abrego Garcia's lawyer spoke with our Lindsay Davis, and he says he personally has worked with the Department of Homeland Security to bring back clients from other countries after winning their cases in court. Quote, he said, "We're not asking anybody to do anything illegal. We're asking them to follow the law."
Harvard University stripped of more than $2 billion in federal funding for refusing the Trump administration directive to ditch DEI initiatives in hiring and class offerings, as well as other things. This is ABC News. It's April 15th, and you know what that means. ABC's Jim Ryan does. Income tax day.
There are plenty of reasons to put off filing one's return. The time, the paperwork, the expense of tax preparation. But on that last point,
more people qualify to file for free than many of us think.
Danny Santana is the tax and personal finance editor at CNET.
Sometimes it's the lack of advertising. You may just not know.
Taxpayers in 25 states can now use the IRS free direct file program. IRS.gov has details. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Investigators in Pennsylvania are still looking to uncover the motive behind the fire set over the weekend at Governor Josh Shapiro's mansion. The governor's family were not hurt. The earthquake that hit San Diego on Monday, magnitude 5.2, not huge by California standards, and certainly not strong enough for this parish piece to be frightened.
It's okay, honey. It's okay. It's an earthquake. But don't be afraid.
That's the priest during Mass. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
KHOW News Time, 10:03.
DNA evidence lawyers say was mishandled by a former CBI analyst facing numerous charges results in the release of a man convicted of murder. Michael Clark convicted in 2012 of the murder of a Boulder man. After the issues with CBI analyst Missy Woods came to light, Clark's lawyers asked prosecutors to revisit the case. Boulder County DA Michael Doherty says they requested a retest of an important piece of evidence.
Based on those results, but also the issue of juror misconduct, as well as the possibility of ineffective assistance of counsel, we agreed with the court that the conviction should be vacated.
A hearing has been scheduled for June where it will be determined if the evidence supports retrying the case or if it will be dismissed. A former Democratic congresswoman wants her old job back. Yadira Caraveo announcing today she will run for the District 8 seat held by Republican Gabe Evans. The 2024 election between the two was decided by fewer than 2,500 votes. That's the latest. I'm Chad Bauer.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindsphere.com.
All right, no big delays right now. It's just a lingering volume in a few areas, 270 included as you're heading up through Vasquez. It's the westbound side that's jamming slightly there. We had an earlier problem on the ramp getting off of I-70 to 270, but that's clear. I-70 westbound into the mousetrap to southbound 25. Ramp is backing up enough. You're going to lose several minutes there also. Coming up out of the Tech Center from Bellevue to Hampton, sluggish, and 225 in from Parker, but really no serious delays out here. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
What if I can guarantee the price of Bitcoin will be $1 million in 2030? Well, I can't, but I can guarantee you'll save a lot of money on blinds at my company, Blindster.com. Free samples, free shipping, and guaranteed to fit. Shop at Blindster.com today.
Spring has sprung and it's full tilt boogie time at GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Facing a job loss? Considering a pension buyout, a severance package, or what to do with your 401k? Hi, I'm Linda Gardner, host of Your Money, Your Retirement, and I can help. 720-488-8604. That's 720-488-8604.
Gravina's beautiful windows, siding, and doors for every price point. The only window and siding company not pushing one or two product lines. They deal with 20 manufacturers with over 50 lines of windows, beautiful entry doors, and multiple brands of siding. And truly the foundation and heritage every company wants. If you're in the market for windows, doors, or siding, check out Gravinas.com. That's Gravinas.com.
Need a new roof? Call Excel Roofing, 303-761-6400.
Are you ready to hear something that will not only make you feel better, but will actively excite you? Yes!
This is Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW, an iHeartRadio station.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Denver's talk station has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bank. That's bank. Enter it now at KHOW.com. Keep listening to win on 630 KHOW.
Yeah. Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We're here to talk about anything near and dear to your heart and your pocketbook, the things that tick you off and the things that make you tick. Welcome, one and all. We are streaming on YouTube as we do every day with my YouTube morons. You can be a moron too. If you go to YouTube, you just look up the Troubleshooter Show or Troubleshooter Network, and you'll find us. It's also, you can search referral list. So welcome, my morons, one and all. And also, they want me to, and I don't know how to say this, but we have a Discord going on, and Tim always asks me to promote that Discord. And I just need to know how I send people to Discord. I'm not sure, but we do have a troubleshooter group at Discord, and we invite you to join that. So today we have a guest that's important about estate planning, but we're also going to touch base with our accountants on last-minute tax things. A lot of people are extending. Nothing wrong with that. Extensions are somewhat automatic, but you don't extend the time to pay ever. Remember that. You never extend the time to pay. So give us a call, one and all, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255, and we'll be happy to talk to you about your problem. You can always call 303-MARTINO as well, 303-627-8466, and you can call that 24/7, and we'll get you on the air. You know, I was shocked to hear that LeBron James and Stephen Curry are no longer the top-selling jerseys in the NBA. This is just a side note. You know, I'll be honest with you, I'm a fair weather fan. I just got interested in the Nuggets recently. I used to be interested in them years ago. And then, of course, with the Joker and the team they have now, I got re-interested. And where do you think Jokic, the Joker, falls in jersey sales? And the number one Laker, Luka Doncic, he is the number one, or Doncic, he's the number one jersey seller. And Stephen Curry's number two, then LeBron James. But these other guys, I'm not really a big NBA guy, but Jokic is number 10. So you have 1, 2, and 3, which is Luka, Steph Curry, LeBron James. Then you have Jason Tatum. Of course, he's great with Boston. And then you have Jalen Brunson and Victor Wembanyama. What the hell? I mean, anyway, then you have Shea, I believe his name is. And then I don't know how to pronounce his name. And then you have Nikola Jokic, and he's number 10. So I was just shocked because LeBron James, because the name's cool, the jersey's cool, I was shocked to hear that. And speaking of sports, the only time I become interested in golf is during the Masters. And by the way, if you're trying to call in, our phones are temporarily down, just temporarily, but we'll let you know when they're up and running. We're having some phone issues. So anyway, when we're talking about the Masters, you had this, what was it? The Susan Lucci of Masters. He's been at the Masters for years and years and years and years and just won. And I'm telling you, it was really fun to watch. And the reason I bring up the Masters is not because of the Masters, but because of this woman who lives next door or near the golf course. And people are selling their homes to the Masters or to this golf course or to whoever the developer is. They're selling their homes because they want to expand the Masters property. But a 92-year-old woman who her home is near Augusta National, and they want to expand the golf course, they have offered her more than $1 million for a tiny brick bungalow that I think she bought for 10 to 12 grand. She will not sell. She says, "I'm sorry, I will not sell." The home is actually valued at about 300. And she bought it probably for around 12, it says, 10 to 12. And she's 92 and is turning down $1 million or more than $1 million. So that's Elizabeth Thacker. She says, "I don't want to sell my home. I know that the Masters is a good thing and they want to expand, but I don't want to leave my home. I don't want to sell my home." She's lived in it for 60 years. It's less than a mile away, but they're buying up all the property around them. And of course, there are a lot of holdouts for money, and they offered her more than $1 million. It's a little 3-bedroom house. She raised all her children there and says, "Nope, too many memories there, and my husband died here." Money ain't everything, she said. We really don't want to go. So that's the story. That's why I mentioned the Masters. I have with me today, I'm going to bring him up here if you're streaming, a guest, and we'll talk about estate planning. Dan McKenzie's with us, and Dan has coplans.co. And Kachina, let me know when the phones are up and running. We do want to talk about a lot of things. Dan, I have a fax here. Oh, they're up. They're okay. The phones are now working. If you're trying to get through, you can get through now at 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Now, that's the iHeart number that's good every day during the show. And then 303-MARTINO is good 24/7, 303-627-8466. I just happen to have some facts I put away, some texts. I say facts. That shows an age, right? My text. Somebody wants to know, does an estate have to file a tax return? That's really, I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
So they do.
Yeah. If they're earning income, sure.
Well, okay. But if someone dies that year, let's say they died in 24 in September or October, August or whatever, does that dead person have to file, or does the estate file for that dead person, for the deceased person? They file a tax return.
Yeah. So there can be two, because you can file for the income they earned while they were still alive, and then if they're still earning income afterwards, it's the estate income.
So if the estate's earning income, that's separate. But they do file a tax return for the year they died, and the personal representative does that.
Yep.
And when you do this return, if taxes are owed, the estate literally has to pay the taxes. So the two sure things, death and taxes can actually follow you after death. Your estate will have to pay for what you made in the year you died.
Right.
Okay, so now the estate pays. Now the estate has some income and some passive investments, and they're trying to settle the estate. Now we move into 2025. So this year, the estate makes money. What happens before April 15th, 2026?
Yeah, I mean, the estate will have, if it has income.
Is it the estate of XY of John Smith?
EIN. It's a different return than the 1040.
Do you do those?
I do not. Some attorneys do, but we usually refer CPAs to do it.
Okay, so as long as the estate is open and earning income, it must pay.
Correct.
Okay. Now, the other thing, and by the way, 303-713-TALK. I know some people were trying to get in, and they texted me, said they couldn't. 303-713-8255. The phones are now working. So when assets are distributed, I always tell people, you can gift as much as you want to your people right now. You can leave money to your people. You don't pay it. The people who receive it pay no tax. Is that right?
Right.
The only time you pay tax on an inheritance, I'm told, is when tax has not been paid on what you're inheriting. Does that make sense? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, retirement accounts are.
So if you inherit a retirement account, does it be, if they had a 401k and I inherit a 401k from an estate, do I now have a 401k?
Yes, but it's inherited, and so
what is it? Does it become Tom Martino's 401k, or is it John Smith who died's 401k?
It's your inherited 401k.
So what do I do with an inherited 401k? If they didn't pay tax on that, that's tax deferred. Do I start taking income on that? What do I do with it? Or can I just keep it? Can I roll it into mine?
No.
Okay, no. So what do you do? That's one of the texts here.
Yeah.
I inherited a 401k.
Yeah.
Actually, they inherited an IRA, but it would be the same, wouldn't it?
It depends on if it's traditional or Roth, but yes.
It's traditional. So, okay, so I inherit this. What happens?
So you have 10 years under the Secure Act, which was passed in 2017.
So I have 10 years to do what?
2019, to withdraw the funds.
And as I withdraw them.
Yeah, you're declaring that as income.
So if I wanted to withdraw only a very little of it, I don't have to do them in 10 even payments?
There is a minimum distribution. It's kind of a silly formula.
Even if you're under 72, there's a minimum distribution?
Yep.
And what's the formula? So it's exhausted?
It's based on your age. So if I'm 50, I've got, a 30th. They're going to assume I'm going to live to be about 82. So I got to withdraw that for the first 9 years, and then in the 10th year, I got to take the balance. So there can be some strategizing there, because I don't want to leave it all for the 10th year and potentially bump myself up a tax bracket.
Well, but presumably as you get older, your income's lower, so you would want to do
Well,
that.
maybe if I'm 50, if I hear it when I'm 50 and I'm still 60, I'm probably still earning income.
Okay. So anyway, you have 10 years with inherited qualified money to distribute it to yourself and to pay tax on it.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So, except Roths. Roths are also you're constrained to 10 years, but you're not paying tax.
Can you take the 401k or the IRA in year 1 and invest it in something else?
Sure.
But you have to pay tax on it.
And again,
but no penalty, even if you're under 59 and a half.
They want you to. They want you to, right? They want you to take that money out and pay those taxes. There's no penalty. This is the person who it was for is dead.
So if I'm under 59 and a half, I take that money anyway, and it's not considered early withdrawal.
It's not a penalty, but you're going to, again, you might bump yourself up some tax brackets by taking, several $100,000 at one time.
Heather, welcome to the show. You're having a problem with a general contractor. What's going on, Heather?
Well, I started with him in February of 2022, I believe.
My goodness. What are you having? Just tell me what you're having done, and we'll come back and give you time to explain the whole thing. What are you having done with this contractor?
I had him remove an old wood stove and put in a new one.
That's all? That's the entirety?
Yeah.
And it started in 2022?
Yeah, and put in tile, for fire safety.
Okay, what is the name of the contractor that you hired in 2022 to do this wood stove?
It's called his business is called Anthony's Chimney Service.
Anthony's Chimney Service. Okay, hold on, and we'll come back to you and figure out what's going wrong and how we can help you. 303-713-8255. This hour brought to you by waterpros.net, the absolute best water systems at the lowest prices. Get healthy. Get healthy water. For your plumbing, for your body, for your drinking, all for under $4,000. You get everything for $39.95, including getting rid of chemicals and plastics. Waterpros.net, 303-862-5554.
Time's ticking, Colorado. Don't miss the Tanner Gun Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Arapahoe Fairgrounds in Aurora. Now's the time to stock up on firearms, ammo, and accessories before half of all guns become illegal in Colorado. Find everything you need all under one roof. This isn't just a show. It's your opportunity to secure your firearms and be prepared. Don't wait until it's too late. Tanner Gun Show. Your perfect shot starts here. Tickets available at the door or online at tannergunshow.com.
I've made my living for the last 50 years answering questions for people because people have questions, especially when it comes to like estate planning. We have a guest today, right? Now we have another attorney who talks about personal injury. So we go to the experts. Our expert on personal injury is John Fuller. People have questions. Before they want to do anything, they just want to have their questions answered about their injury. If the other person's responsible, what do I get? How much do I get? When do I get it? What about my car? What about this? What about that? So John Fuller can answer all of those free of charge with no obligation. And he does it every day for my people, and he'll do it for you. So you can call John Fuller at any time. And of course, he will make himself available to you. John Fuller, 303-597-4500. That's John Fuller. And you can depend on him to, of course, give you honest, accurate information. That's John Fuller. Fuller Law, 303-597-4500.
Thank you. 4 minutes if you want to leave.
You. I might want to go and have a drink down at the bar, and then I'll come back later.
That'd be good, because that'd give Dan a chance to answer the questions you asked.
What do you mean? I didn't give him a chance? Of course I did. What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that the multiple personalities in your head could host 5 different radio shows.
Yeah, probably. Kachina, I appreciate those calls, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate your effort there.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it. We just had a minor issue.
Good.
We got a kid in here? It's a minor issue.
Oh, I get it. I like that.
or coal. I do have a picture of a nude coal miner on my phone, just in case I ever get in trouble. I do have a photo of a nude miner, but it's a different spelling.
that's could get you
in
trouble.
By the way,
yes,
yeah, me in trouble. That's funny. Kelly, do you still have my? Speaking of which, splitter. I hardly know her, but do you still have my little mini splitter thing with an adapter?
Are expecting a recession.
I had left it there.
So with more
when you had 18 people in here on Friday.
It's going to be perceptionomics.
You're so sweet.
It causes a recession.
Thank you.
It literally causes it because people hear.
And hopefully there's not a problem that you need the
So they
Neosporin
hold
for.
back on purchases. Then people in corporations start holding back on hiring. Then unemployment goes up a little. People see the unemployment going up, and therefore they hold back even more. I'm telling you, man, it is perception. I'll bet you is 80% of the economy. You think? You think, Dan? Do you think perception has a big deal? It is. It's not really math, is it? What do you mean? Hey, Dimitri, for some reason, I get these complaints about my shots. Like, I don't think they can see everything in my wide see, it's hard with these cameras to do. I got to do a wide shot that kind of gets, maybe I put it up higher and point down because of these cameras. Let me see.
You were so.
Well, no, I'm not talking about all. He's not going to line up all the shots. Well, of course, and then I'll buy one for this key camera maybe. But here's what I'm talking about. He says here. So yeah, I see what they're saying. So I'm getting hidden by cameras and microphones. I think that's what. Is that what you're saying, Talib? Talib, is that what you're saying? I am being hidden in the wide shot.
Nobody can see you on the radio.
Yeah, I know. About the what?
They have to imagine.
Just let me look right now. I like to do it sooner than later, so maybe I'll just do it on Monday. Let's see. Monday of next week, I have a doctor's appointment at 4. I don't think we'll be that long, but I don't. Well, actually, that would be good. We can do it right after the show. He won't be more than an hour, right? Oh, okay, then. That might be a bad day then. Hold on. Let's do it Tuesday. I'm going to put down here. Hold on.
All right, here you go.
.com. Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So Heather hired the Chimney service to replace a wood stove in 2022. Continue your story, Heather.
Okay, I got the year wrong. It's 2023, but in February.
Got it.
The reason why I had it replaced is that the wood stove I had was large, and you can't have a large wood stove in a small house because it's not safe. Number one, you have to run it at a certain temperature for it to be safe. And if you run a big stove at that temperature in a small house,
so you put a smaller wood stove in. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I hired him to do, which he did. Okay, and he was also going to put in the fire protection on the walls and on the floor, the tile.
Okay.
And the fire.
Got it. It like a protective tile.
Okay. Right. And the original balance, he charged me $5,000.
Okay.
Okay, for that. Okay, and then he came back. He put the stove in. He bought stuff at Home Depot, which I know the floor tile. I looked it up, and it costs $1.47 a piece. They're a foot square.
So why are you questioning, Heather? I have a quick question. If this happened in 2023, why are you questioning now what he charged you?
Because that's not all he charged me.
Oh,
okay.
continue.
So he charged me in 2023. Okay, the $5,000.
Yes.
Then then he charged me also $2,700.
When did he? Hold on. Was that in 2024 or was that still in 2023?
2023. In July of 2023, he charged me another $3,000. In September of 2023,
Okay, hold on. Heather, I'm confused. So the first payment you made, you paid him $5,000. Then he charged $2,700 more.
$2,700 more in September of that year.
Got it. Why?
And then in
Why?
July, he charged me another $3,000.
But why
then
did he?
In 2024,
Heather, why did he charge you $2,700 in September? I want to take one at a time. Why did he charge that?
let me see. I'm trying to look at the receipts that he gave me.
Because it seems to me if he put in a smaller stove and put up the protective tile for $5,000, what was the other $2,700 for? Did you have him do more work?
He also had to clean the chimney out, and
So was that the $2,700? What I need to know on your invoice, what was the $2,700 for?
It was his first year for cleaning the chimney and bringing the stove down and taking the old stove out. And,
yeah, but wait a minute. You already paid him $5,000 for that. So what's the $2,700 for?
Yeah, I know that. And I can't find what it's for.
Okay, I get it. Hold on. I need to ask you a question though on this. So for that $5,000, did he supply the stove or is that just labor?
He said it was a chimney. It was for the chimney and inspection.
I get it, but I need to know the $5,000 that you paid originally. Did it include the stove itself? The $5,000.
Yes, that included the stove.
Okay. So the $2,700. Then he charged. Then he charged something else.
Yes. And
so in addition to the $5,000 and the $2,700, he charged you another $3,000. You said.
Yeah, well, he charges $175 an hour also.
But what was the additional? Okay, I got the $5,000. I don't agree with it. I got the $2,700. I don't agree with it. But then you said he collected another $3,000. What was that for?
Let's see, $3,000. Oh God. Original quote. He said the original quote was $72, and this is in. Let's see. April of 2023. He said there.
So let me just say, Heather, we don't want to do math on the air. Let me just say this. In general, you paid this guy over $10,000.
I paid him almost. I paid him $14,550.
Oh my God!
And I still don't have the fire protection tile down, and I've hired another guy that I totally and completely trust.
What is this guy's name? What is this guy's name at Anthony's? What's his full name?
I think his last name is Jones.
What is it? Spell that.
And the Jones.
Oh, Jones. Okay, got it.
I don't know.
Listen, do you have a phone number for this guy?
Yes, I do.
Had you found it?
And I can
get
it,
Dimitri?
Right now.
Yeah, I found Anthony's chimney sweeps, and according to their website, they also Yeah, and so I have.
Speak up a little there, please.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I do have their phone number and I have their website.
Could you do me a favor and call him?
Yeah.
Heather, do you have invoices that you can send to us?
They're not. They're on that yellow paper.
Okay.
That
No, I
is,
get it. I get
pressure.
it. Can you would you be able to take a picture of the front of them? Just a rough picture with your cell phone?
Not a rough picture, a high quality picture.
Well, I mean, just for getting started.
My cell phone does as well.
Yeah. If
hold
if
on,
I could get a
Kachina,
copy of all
have her send us pictures of those invoices. If she can just snap a shot of those, we don't need. Okay, when I said a picture, obviously the best quality you can get, but the bottom line is I just want to verify you did business with the guy, and if we can show the amount on there, we'll call him and get details. But do that for us, please. 303-713-8255. This sounds horrendous. $14,000. And when you think about it, she exchanged a stove and she paid for it. So that included a stove, chimney inspection and cleaning, and some tile. It sounds ridiculous to me, but why now? Why is she questioning it now? The last work was done in 2023. We'll find out that coming up. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, will do an analysis of your home right now to see what it will sell for without listing it. You don't have to commit to listing, and you never have to commit to listing, but he'll let you know what you can not only sell it for, but what you will net and what you can buy. It's all free of charge, complimentary. That's 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
This is Denver's talk station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver.
Yeah, but why now?
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Yeah, it looks like we did have a problem southbound 25 at 20th, partially into the left lane. They just got out of there a few minutes ago. It did back up. It's been running heavy coming in from about, maybe 58th. Into downtown around 38th, and I-70 westbound to southbound into the Mousetrap. That ramp's backed up pretty badly, so slow and recovering. 270 still a little heavy out of Commerce City on the westbound side up near Vasquez. I-25, though, does look good down to and from the Denver Tech Center. About 10 minutes between downtown and the DTC. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
Need new blinds? At Blindster.com, we offer guaranteed low prices, guaranteed satisfaction, free samples, and free shipping. At Blindster, we take the fear out of ordering custom blinds, shades, and shutters so you can do it yourself and save big. Blindster.com.
I partner with people in order to help consumers, and I preach two things. Before you do any investing or anything like that, you need to get out of high-interest debt and get an emergency fund going. You can't do that with credit card debt looming over you. If you've made the mistake of putting too much on a credit card, I've partnered with American Financing. They have special programs for you to turn that debt into a low interest debt with equity in your home. You can get an equity line of credit. You can get or a brand new refi that even though you might have a lower rate on a mortgage, your blended rate when all debt is considered will be lower. Call our experts there with no obligation whatsoever and ask them, how can you get out of this high interest debt? That is our goal, and AmericanFinancing.net is helping us accomplish it. So call my friends at AmericanFinancing.net and talk about getting out of high interest debt and turn your life around. Once you do that, then you can start paying on that on those credit card part of it more. You'll have breathing room at least, right? 303-695-7000. Get out from under this debt. 303-695-7000. AmericanFinancing.net. Hey, if you get in trouble, and yes, people get in trouble, okay? They can have arguments with neighbors that escalate. They can have a bar fight. They can have a DUI. They can have stupid things happen in their lives. And I'm not going to pretend it never happens, because it does. And you need a criminal defense attorney, because they are crimes. Even a speeding ticket can turn into where you need a defense attorney. And of course, I recommend Joe Lazzara, Lazzara, Joseph Lazzara, 303-429-6200. Free initial consultations, and then flat rate pricing on your offense. 303-429-6200.
Oh, right.
Kind of looks like that. Yes. Yes.
All right. All right. Should lady who said to Augusta she owned property
at troubleshooter.com.
Shout
That's
out.
our email address. You have to do this from your email, not text. And not from the website.
Thank you, D. That woman needs help, man. No, I get it. You know, you're right. Economics is as much a social science as it is a math science. What's that? Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I didn't share with you.
Further back.
Seven 6400.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So I have a pretty obvious question for Heather. Heather, why did you start questioning and calling us now? Or have you been thinking about this the whole time?
I've been thinking about this the whole time, he just never showed up when he was supposed to, and he had all kinds of excuses.
So he never finished.
He
never finished the tile, and you had to hire someone else.
Well, it's not only that. Yes, I had to hire someone else, and he is an inspector. And he found that he didn't put the protective insulator box between the inside of the house and the roof, and he cut one of the structural beams, Everything was
Okay.
all the insulation was charcoal.
I get it. So, in other words, not only did he not finish, but he did a lot of wrong things.
Yes, and it could have killed me and anybody else that was in my house.
Now, how much did you pay the second contractor?
I've only paid him $500.
Oh my goodness! So this guy must be golden. He's a good guy, huh? The second guy just wants to help you out.
Absolutely, wonderful man. Wonderful man.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Deputy D, I don't know if you heard this, but not only did she spend 14 grand with this guy, but the second guy she hired for $500, who inspected everything, said there are a ton of problems on top of it. So Heather, get off the phone, get us that contract to get us some pictures, lay them on a table, and take a picture with your phone, send them to us. Kachina, walk her through that. Katie, your turn, Katie. I'm Tom Martino. What's going on with you? And by the way, any estate-related questions, I do have a couple texts here. Dan McKenzie's with us, McKenzie Law. And I like the way he does business because it's a smaller firm. You get a lot of personal attention. So, Katie, tell us what's going on with this tenant landlord. Are you the tenant or the landlord?
The tenant.
What's going on?
I've been a tenant at this place for a whole 12 days. They are an apartment complex, and they are infested with cockroaches and bed bugs, and they are lying to tenants, telling them there's no issue. And then you move in and there's an issue.
Well, let me ask you this,
and they
Katie.
won't
What's
let
the
you
name
out
of the
your
place? What's the name of the place? Let's expose it.
It's called Hidden Lake Apartments. It's right off of 68th and Lowell.
Hidden Lake Apartments, 68th and Lowell. Okay. Now, when you wait, what do you mean they're lying? Tell me what you mean by that.
So I bluntly asked them, do you have a bug problem? And they said no.
How many people asked that? You actually asked that before you rented? You said, by the way, do you have a bug problem?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, I never asked that in my life,
Yeah,
but you
because
actually
it's
you asked specifically if they had a bug problem. May I ask why you asked that question? That's a weird question to ask.
Because when you, because I've had past trauma. I've moved into an apartment and there's a bug problem, and I lived in a place for the last 12 years, and I'm out here trying to find an apartment, and you go to these complexes that have 500 units. So it's a question that you ask when you've had that experience before.
I get it. And so they said we have no problem.
Right.
And how long did it take you? You're there 12 days. Tell me, how bad is it?
I haven't even moved in yet. And in my unit, it's not bad. In my unit, I haven't seen any live bugs. I see only dead ones. I was there yesterday. I'm trying to break the lease. I can't furnish.
Well, hold on though. But why?
With brand new
But
furniture
you even said you haven't moved in yet, and you're assuming you're going to have a problem. Dimitri, what did you want to say?
Katie, what kind of bugs did you witness? Are we talking about cockroaches or flies or bees or what?
Yes.
Yes.
They're
what?
cockroaches and they're dead.
Gross.
Now, how do you know that maybe they did that because maybe they fixed the problem now? No? Yes? What do you think?
You can never fix a cockroach problem.
Wait. What do you mean you could never fix a cockroach
in
problem?
New York, Tom, and there are more cockroaches there than stars in the sky.
No, but hold on. What do you mean you can't fix it, though? A building can have an exterminator come in and fix cockroaches.
Yeah, temporarily.
What do you mean temporarily?
They live in the walls. They live in the floors, the ceilings, the pipe cases.
So listen, Katie. You saw several dead cockroaches. This is recent. She's only been there 12 days.
Been there.
She's not even moved in. So you see dead bodies, and you went to them and said, wait a minute, I'm seeing a lot of dead cockroaches. And when you say dead cockroaches, can you be specific? How many did you see, really? No, seriously, how many dead bodies did you see?
I've seen two. And when I go to them and I'm like, hey, I'm seeing these bugs, Well, 2 turns into 200 in a hurry.
Yeah,
and
but
they're like, oh, we'll have
you
pest
don't-
control come.
Hey,
Pest control can come
So-
every week. Once a week, they can come to your apartment.
Oh, Katie, but listen, are you jumping the gun here? I'm on your side, but is it? Could you just be a little sensitized here and you saw 2 of them and you're assuming there's a big problem? Wait, Dimitri, are you telling me if you saw 2, you would think there's a major problem?
If you see 2, that means there's 2,000 more.
Oh,
I guarantee
come
you
on.
that.
Come on. Really?
I guarantee you that, man. Didn't you live in New York too?
Well, yeah, but I didn't live in the city.
Oh, I did.
Okay, so Katie, I don't know what infested place he lives in, but 2 of them denotes 2,000. I think you're just.
Will they let you out of the lease?
That's what she's talking about. Katie, I want to ask a couple questions.
No, they won't.
Did you knock?
I went down there yesterday.
But did you do any due diligence? Did you knock on doors and ask neighbors if they're having a cockroach problem?
No, I didn't, but now that I know that there's this issue, the neighbors are saying that there's a problem, not only with cockroaches, but with bed bugs. I was in the office yesterday, and this woman is in the office crying, telling the office lady, you know, I can't work because I have bed bugs. I need a note saying that my apartment's been treated, and I can't even work, and they don't care. She's just like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, Katie. When you asked about getting out of the lease, what did they say?
They said that because in that unit they are not seeing any live bugs, it's not considered an infestation, and I will have to pay whatever penalties to get out of my lease.
Okay, hold on, and we'll address this coming up, and maybe we'll have somebody make a phone call. Okay, and then we'll look at your rights here. 303-713 8255. Sally, we got your call too. Hold on, Katie. More coming up.
Now, Impact Traffic. This report is sponsored by the Music Saved Me podcast.
Yeah, it looks like we did have a problem southbound 25 at 20. It's partially into the left lane. They just got out of there a few minutes ago. It did back up. It's been running heavy coming in from about, maybe 58 into downtown around 38th, and I-70 westbound to southbound into the Mousetrap. That ramp's backed up pretty badly, so slow and recovering. 270 still a little heavy out of Commerce City on the westbound side up near Vasquez. I-25, though, does look good down to and from the Denver Tech Center. About 10 minutes between downtown and the DTC. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
I'm Lynn Hoffman, and lucky me, I get to host the Music Saved Me podcast, the podcast that explores the healing and transformative power of music. You can listen to the Music Saved Me podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
O'Brien Legal Services. Now, we're going to call him actually probably about this to see if it is a habitability issue. OLS Law, that's what he does. He works for landlords, he works for tenants, he works for people buying and selling properties, anything to do with real estate. Think about Brad O'Brien and his team at O'Brien Legal Services, olslaw.com, 720-370-7388, olslaw.com. Hey, if you want to get involved in investing and you're young or you're middle-aged and you don't have a lot of money, consider overfunding life insurance. It's a simple but elegant way to put money away, because when you overpay for insurance, the extra money above the cost of insurance goes to cash value that grows tax deferred, and you can even turn it into tax free. Joe Chiano has the plan. He's helped many people. It's called becomethebanker.org. It's safe, it's conservative, and it really does work. Becomethebanker.org, 303-779-6600.
Yep.
Okay, so I am having an issue here with my kids. God damn it. They're fucking charging something, and they're asking me if it's legit. What would be charged on there? How do I find my Apple account? I have never, that's one thing I hate. The Apple has never been friendly for looking up charges. I don't even know where to go. What is apple.com? I mean, where the fuck is it?
No, Brad is on.
Bonnie says his
No,
key
Brad
band. What is a
O'Brien.
key band?
I've never heard.
Yeah, I didn't hear him say. Let's get
I
Brad
use my
O'Brien.
cars. Key bank.
I suppose the good thing is she hasn't moved in.
My kids are just too fucking spoiled. Okay, so he says, take better advantage of those cameras. Place them all physically out of frame. Well, you can't do that and focus a tighter shot. We got this thing almost as tight as it goes. We can't make it wider.
Well, Gary will be here Tuesday, so you and I shouldn't make any changes until then.
Okay, all right.
Because he's the pro.
And for a guest shot and for the wide shot, I don't need better cameras. I'm not going to get good cameras for almost. I mean, to put $6,000 worth of cameras in here.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. One good one for you.
Yeah,
and then the other one.
And you know, I do have a good one, and the reason I resist putting it here, I have a $4,000 camera that I use for my TV commercials and stuff. Oh, it's and it would stream to here, and it has HDMI. But the reason I don't do it is because, and you know, it's really stupid because it sits in the fucking case most of the time.
That's a good reason.
I could put it on here because I use it. We use it. Okay,
Yeah,
we
you
use
do
it for
use it.
different things. Things you probably don't see, but on TV, I do a lot of TV commercials,
Yeah.
and I have my own equipment, and I shoot some of it, but mainly, I have it so I can just get a shooter, and he doesn't have to worry about his own shit, and I get it a lot cheaper. So here's the deal: with that camera, I could sit there and then just take it when I need it. I mean, it's kind of almost stupid. I'm gonna bring it here when he comes.
Absolutely. I figured you would.
Because you know what? It does sit in the it literally sits in the case.
Let's put it to work.
You know, and it's a Panasonic. It's a really good one.
Let's bring it in.
4K.
Let's Tuesday afternoon, starting at 2 o'clock. Man, I think it's going to revolutionize the set.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We'll go back to that tenant-landlord issue. Trust me, we will. But Sally has a question for estate planning. We have Dan McKenzie with us, McKenzie Law. Sally, what? And don't go away, Katie. We're not done with you. Oh, wait. We do have Brad O'Brien. I didn't realize that. So let me go to Brad O'Brien. Brad, thank you very much. OLSlaw.com, real estate law. Brad, at what point? She's moving into a place. She sees 2 dead cockroaches. She figures there must be an infestation. And she talks to neighbors who say, yeah, there's a problem with cockroaches.
Bed bugs, too.
And bed bugs. Just on the say-so of the neighbors and her fear, can she get out of this lease? She's just been renting for 12 days now. She's in the process of moving in. Is it difficult to get out on a habitability issue under these circumstances, Brad?
Well, the Colorado warranty of habitability statute allows the tenant to get out of a lease, but there's several steps that have to be followed. First, they have to give the landlord notice of the condition that makes it uninhabitable. And then the landlord has a certain amount of time to respond and to attempt to remediate. And then, and only then, can they go to court to sue for termination of the lease.
But if she just tries to get out of it now before even moving in, they're going to make the argument they didn't have a chance, right?
Right. If you already signed the lease, that's a contract, which is binding. Doesn't matter if she hasn't moved in yet.
Katie, are you hearing this, Katie? Katie? Is she still there? Kachina, just tell me. Okay. So, Katie, it sounds like it's going to be an uphill battle if you try to get out now. But if you moved in, I know it's a.
I'm going to have to just pay the penalties.
How much is the penalty?
So I spoke to them yesterday, and they are willing to work with me. He said that he would call like the property manager and see what they are willing to do. Worst case, it's a 60-day notice, regardless of if I want to give them a 60-day notice or not. So it's 2 months worth of rent, and then the termination fee is a month's worth of rent. So like $4,000.
So you're talking about 3 months altogether.
I'm going to email them. If I can get Katie's last name, I'll email them and ask them on behalf of our show if they're just willing to cancel the deal right now.
Hold on, okay? And Brad O'Brien, thank you very much. OLSlaw.com, Brad O'Brien, 720-370-7388. Now, Sally, hang on with your estate question. We have Dan McKenzie with us, McKenzie Law, coming up. We'll answer all of your questions. Don't forget 303 Martino. Okay, now. Okay. I want to talk.
Okay, Katie, what's your last name? Okay, and what is this still the best number to reach you? 720-257-2109? Okay, we're going to go ahead and escalate this to one of our deputies. His name is Dimitri. He will be calling you to do more of a deeper dive into this to see what we can do for you, okay? No problem. Thank you. Take care.
It's not your phone on. I'm hearing. I'm still hearing.
I know. I can turn it completely down.
Yeah. It's confusing me.
I think maybe that control, like their panel thing.
Yeah.
Maybe when they go to program, doesn't then it just shuts it off.
I don't hear it now.
No, I turned it down.
Yeah.
interesting one for a while, but I was thinking about it last night.
Okay. Well, good that you're taking Pilates. I'm glad that you are saying. I only have like 2 minutes, so, all right. Unfortunately, Rob Calvert had a stroke last night. Adam's best man at our wedding. Yeah. 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 A year older than me. So he is in ICU. I'm sorry. He was in ICU. It happened Friday night. He's now home, but he is paralyzed on the left side of his body. And he cannot walk.
I like him. He's a good old boy.
He's
Oh, the guy from Louisiana?
Yeah, he's truly a good old boy.
Right.
But I'm just letting you know we're probably going to go out and visit maybe over Memorial Day. I don't know. But
Hearing today on that guy in
Texas.
El Salvador already. At least they're done it. Hey, they're lucky they don't put them.
Yeah.
Mix the gains together.
Oh, right.
Anyway, I've been texting with Emily about 6 a.m. Yeah, me too. But you know what? I mean, he's got 2 high schoolers that can help him out, moving him around from place to place. They're shit. All right, bye.
Denver's talk station. Hit.
Did something. Yeah.
When you're out the knock.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hello, welcome to the show. I'm Tom Martino, here to help you solve your problems, answer your questions, take your complaints, as I've been doing for 45 years in Denver, more than 50 years if you count it all. And we are proud to be the longest running radio show with the same host still on the air. Woo! So, welcome. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this spring in the Mile High. And for those listening around the country, you too, right? Sorry you can't be here, right? Because I think Denver has probably the best weather all around in the world. I mean, all things considered, if you had to pick one place, well, maybe Hawaii would be a good one too. Anyway, Dan McKenzie's with me, McKenzie Law, and that's coplans.co. And Sally has a question about an estate. Welcome, Sally. And I have some texts as well about estate planning and estate questions. What is your question, Sally?
My question is, what do you do with an estate attorney who is not returning any calls, emails, texts to the executor?
Let's back up. Okay, let's back up, Sally. Whose estate are we talking about?
It's my brother.
And when did he pass away?
January of 2024.
Okay, so your brother passed away in January of 2024, and what happened then? To give me the steps on this attorney and how he got involved.
Well, this attorney, when my brother became ill about 6 months prior to his death, he hired an estate attorney and set up the estate when he passed. And he named a lady friend.
So he knew he was dying. Did he have a terminal illness? I mean, did he know he was dying?
Yes. He had a couple very serious things that had been going on for years, and it come to that. He was 83.
Okay.
He was not a youngster.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just before he died, he contacted this attorney.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And who is the attorney?
The attorney, this is in San Francisco.
Yeah.
In the Bay Area.
Okay. Then I don't care. Okay. So he contacted this attorney. Now, your brother was living in San Francisco?
Correct.
Okay. And what did this attorney do for him, or what is he not doing now? Is the estate settled or not?
The estate is basically finished. It was all in really good order. It was not the least bit complicated. And the executor is a lady friend of my brother's who also lives in San Francisco. And she's just done a wonderful job. And she cannot get a hold of this attorney. The attorney is a female, actually.
But why do you have to get a hold of? Why do you have to get a hold of the attorney if it's all settled? What is the purpose?
Well, things need to be settled out. The executor, she needs to meet with her. She has documentation.
So Dan McKenzie. Dan McKenzie is with us, an estate attorney. So, Dan, what has to be done to finalize everything? She's saying that you said it was settled. Like, were his assets distributed?
No, nothing's been distributed.
Oh, I thought you said it had been settled. So you mean he died in January of 2024 and nothing has been done?
Well, things have been done. All the tax returns, the two, different ones, the final one was like in January. And the executor, she keeps contacting her in all kinds of ways you could possibly
but
contact her.
Tell me how big your brother's estate was or is.
I call it $1 million.
Okay. So nothing has been distributed, but things have been done in the background, tax returns and stuff like that. But you want to know, when is it going to be closed out, and you can't get an answer.
Correct.
Okay. Dan, what do you do in a case like that when you have an unresponsive estate attorney? Has probate actually been opened as a case?
Yes, it has everything to my knowledge and to the executor's knowledge has been.
But has there been a probate case, an actual court case opened in your brother's estate's name?
That was not necessarily during COVID. Somebody, a vagrant, broke into his home while he was out of town and set the house on fire. And this guy happened to be a fire starter. He'd been locked up a number of times.
But what does that have to do with his death of 2020?
So in other words, my brother didn't own the house anymore. It was mostly just so probate wouldn't have been necessary.
So the house was burned down. Did he get insurance proceeds?
He did, yeah.
Okay.
And it was sold. This was in San Francisco proper, so
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
I mean that's.
So what is there? What is there in his estate to be distributed? Mainly cash.
Mainly cash.
And about $250,000, you said.
No, million.
Okay, so nothing has been done. Dan, again, we're back to the same question. What do you do with an unresponsive? There's not a probate court case. There's just an estate. What do you do when an attorney doesn't answer you?
And I guess I missed it. Is she the client? You're the fiduciary?
She is an heir, and he appointed a personal representative.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's always tricky because that's not really your attorney. So you could hire your own attorney. Like you can't really.
So usually he doesn't have standing as an heir?
To talk to the attorney? Not necessarily. That attorney is really the attorney for the estate.
But the representative she knows, the personal representative, and the personal representative she knows very well, and that personal representative can't get a response.
It's kind of their obligation. So she should talk to the personal representative and ask for that. And if she's not getting, reasonable
Can the
reports,
personal representative go to the bar association?
Sure, but I mean, I guess first, if the personal representative feels like they're not getting responses, you can always fire your attorney. That is always something you can do. So if that, I mean, it really is on the personal representative to get this done.
Well, and I know that, and she knows that, and the other heirs were my three sons and I have. She's asked us for help. She's kept us informed this whole time over a year. She's been wonderful. But I Googled how long does it take for the California bar to respond. They said 6 months or more. Well, that's putting it out too far. And we are aware. Here's my question: we are aware we could fire this person and get a new attorney, which is what we're looking into. But my question is, this other attorney is holding some documents. How do we even get that away from her? Because she won't even respond to texts, to emails, to
You know
nothing.
what? I'll bet you I could come up with wording that the personal representative could send that would get a reaction. If you know that attorney is getting texts, the personal representative can say, you had a fiduciary responsibility to me and to the estate, and you have been lax in your response to me. I am going to the Bar Association and the Oversight Committee, and I'm complaining about you if I do not hear from you in 2 days. That's what I would do. Now, Dan, is that silly for me to say that, or would an attorney respond to that?
I don't want to interrupt, but that's exactly what happened several weeks ago. It was the middle of March, and one of my sons is a businessman and very good at writing. He wrote a letter for the representative to.
And it was not, and it was in strong wording like that.
And it was just exactly that. It was exactly that. She gave her till the 18th of March to respond.
The attorney, are we sure the attorney's alive?
And nothing.
You know what? Hold on a second. You know what? We're going to call the attorney. We're going to call the attorney and say, look, I know you can't talk about this case, but you better get in touch with your clients because they're making noise, and we're going to help them lodge an official complaint against you if you do not contact them. I'll bet you that gets a response from a radio show. You want to make a bet we can get a response?
I don't know.
Well, here's what I want you to do, Sally.
Sure.
Here, I'm going to tell you what to do. I want you to hang up and call the personal representative and say, look, these people from the Tom Martino radio show, a consumer advocacy show, they're willing to contact the attorney. and light a fire. Okay, we can't get information and she can't, breach any confidentiality, but she sure as hell will know we're telling the truth when we give the name of the estate and the name of the representative and say, look, you don't have to talk to us at all, but you better get in touch with your client or we're going to make a case out of this. So so do me a favor, Sally, contact us back and then let us know if you want us to take it to the next level. Okay, that's what I want you to do. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Fix It 24/7 will do the deep clean of your air conditioner to get it ready. It's a refurbishment, $39. You'll never get better. In fact, I just called Fix It at my house for a water heater. They're great people. You can call them for anything. Plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. 720-526-3939. This is bullshit.
Hi, I'm Dr. Julie at Sound Relief Hearing Center. Are you tired of that ongoing debate with your partner about whether you can't hear or that you never listen? Why not slip on an invisible hearing device, your secret weapon that even your partner won't spot? Let us show you the best options to boost your hearing, your life, and maybe even your relationship. At Sound Relief, we will not let untreated hearing loss become something more problematic. Visit us at soundrelief.com. That's soundrelief.com.
Red Rocks Roof and Solar. I love talking about these guys because they are legit when it comes to solar. Because most people just sell contracts at the door and you never see them again. And then they place that contract with a company you've never met. And then that company installs it and never comes back. And when you need service, you're left out high and dry. Red Rocks Roof and Solar controls everything from the sale, installation, and service, and they help you through and never abandon you. RedRocksRS.com, 303-704-2449, 704-2449. When you need an attorney for a criminal defense case, you have questions first. Joe Lazzara knows that and will answer your questions free of charge. If you call him with a matter, a speeding ticket that's excessive, or maybe a DUI, or maybe you have a scuffle with a neighbor, whatever it is, he'll answer your questions and then do flat rate pricing so you'll know the price and never be nickeled and dimed. Initial consultations free and then flat rate pricing. Joe Lazzara, 303-429-6200. That's Lazzara. If you're going to Google it, you can find him at referralist.com, 303-429-6200.
That's not ringing. Tuesdays, every 4 weeks.
Brad O'Brien.
I can get
you always got it, yeah.
5 minutes.
Okay, so
and once you kind of reconfirm that way, that I go Peoria and never go on the Rapid Road till Potomac.
Oh, right.
There's always something.
Always something.
On the side of that lane forever, and kill a lane when they're putting an embankment on.
All right, and you've got an issue with the trailer.
why would an attorney just not respond, Dan? Can you think of any reasons why?
Too much to do. And they're balancing so many cases, and
they just get overwhelmed.
I feel like it's not even the client. I mean, I guess the personal representative can't get a response either, but it's like some stuff is just like, I know you think it's an emergency, it's not an emergency.
Yeah, I know. But a year, no response.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, I know what you mean. Many times clients have an issue and they think it's the most urgent thing in the world. And Dimitri, I haven't forgotten about you with questions about him, so I just want to. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then he's got to step out at noon, and then he'll come back. And
Sorry, I saw it.
I was probably going to go over there.
No, it's okay. As long as you've
done.
Shannon Scott, what was this picture you sent? Shannon?
What?
This picture you sent, how did you, what tell me about it. I mean, how'd you get that angle?
I just paused YouTube while you were looking particularly lost.
lost. So you're making fun of me then. You didn't do it because you think I look good.
Oh, I'm not making fun of you. You're making fun of you. I just happened to capture it.
You know what? You're definitely going to be named in the lawsuit. Definitely.
Oh, getting in a fight with you is like getting in a fight at an opera house. You're going to swap me with your program there, mister?
Yes, I will.
I am going to speak to the usher directly and have you removed.
I'm going to
good day, sir.
Beat the
I said
living
good
hell
day.
out of you.
What the... Beat me with a catheter. What are you going to do?
Yeah, beat you with a catheter. That's funny, actually.
Thank you.
You know, but this angle, I just can't see this angle. Like, I didn't even know I had an angle like that you took a picture of. That was my. I don't have an angle like that. How did he get this on YouTube? I don't even have that angle. Look at where did he get that? He said he snapped it off of YouTube. A screenshot.
Yeah.
There's not a camera here that does that. Look, I'm
crazy,
going to show you.
huh?
Here's my camera.
Yep.
How do you get that picture?
Right?
Didn't you say some software rips the image?
Yeah, but still. And then look at this.
It's
is the
not
wide
AI.
shot.
This is the wide shot. Maybe that his software that he used. It looks like you're facing the wrong.
Hey, by the way, speaking of AI, I can't believe you didn't ask your boyfriend there about if you see 2 dead cockroaches, how many cockroaches do you have?
Oh, that's a good one. Dimitri is my expert on cockroaches for some reason. I didn't realize it, but
that'll be fine.
You know, I might want to widen that shot a little on me when Gary comes. You know, like
all right, here we come.
We'll let
That's YREFY.com.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Jason has an issue with a trailer park. Jason, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good, man.
So I was helping a buddy fix a leak up in Glenwood Springs at a trailer park.
Now, is this buddy, hold on. Is this buddy renting a trailer there, or does he own his own trailer there?
They own the park. Him and his family.
Oh.
Own the trailer park.
Okay.
And there was an old abandoned trailer park, and they think the water line froze underneath it and broke, and so I went up there with him to help him fix it.
Okay.
And then he lives in Florida, so he took off and didn't help. Went back to Florida, and I drove back up to Glenwood Springs and dug it up and capped the line and fixed a water hydrant and did some other work around this trailer park. I was up there for 2 weeks, and I asked them for my money.
Wait a minute. You said this is a friend, right? A buddy? This is a buddy?
From high school.
And so you helped
we've known
him.
each other for like
And
30
how much
years.
did he agree to pay you? Was this like a buddy thing, or did he agree to pay you?
He did. In a text, he agreed to pay me $50 an hour. And like I said, I was up there for 2 weeks. And then, like, towards the end of the job, it got weird because I hired a couple guys that actually lived at the trailer park to help me dig.
Did you have permission to do that?
Yes. And they paid the guys, but they still haven't paid me. And his cousin, who's the manager of the trailer park, keeps telling me the check's in the mail.
How much are you owed?
And I waited a week.
Jason, how much are you owed altogether?
So what I was owed and what I told them to pay me are two different amounts. I just wanted to get paid. I told them to just pay me for 50 hours.
How much? 50 hours times 50? Yeah.
Times 50. So
Got
what's
it.
that? $2,500 bucks.
Right.
But I was up there for 2 weeks, hotels, food, stuff like that. I was living in my truck and I was paying for
Have you ever
hotels.
talked personally to your buddy?
I have.
And
so like when it came time to get paid, he's like, so how much do you want to get paid? And I was like, well, I told you we could figure this out at the end of the thing, but you told me $50, and I told you I was fine with $50 an hour.
Yeah.
Then he's like, well, how many hours did you work? Did you work more hours than your guys or less hours? Because the guys worked 47. And I said, well, I was there almost a week before. I did a lot more work.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You're only charging You're only charging $2,500. When you told him that, did he agree to it?
Yes.
You know,
and his cousin agreed to it. And
Jason.
like I said, I've got text and I got pictures of all the work. Yes.
When was the last time you were on that job? I'm asking for a very specific purpose. When was the last time you were at that job?
I think on the 30th.
Good.
Like 2-3 weeks ago. And that's why I'm calling, because I don't know if I need to lean them.
Yeah, you absolutely, positively,
light a fire.
You absolutely, positively need to put a lien on that. And if you don't know how to do it, you hire an attorney to do it. You need to put a lien on it. First, you have to warn them you're putting a lien. Then you do a lien. You file an intent to lien, or you notify them of an intent to lien, and then you lien it. And there's a very specific time period. I suggest you hire an attorney to do it. It's worth it and I wouldn't go for just the $2,500. I would go for the full amount. Unless you have that in writing somewhere on the $2,500, I would tell him, hey, I'm leaning you, and this is how much I want. Now, you can always settle after that, but you must do a lien. And what county is this?
What is it, Mesa?
Okay.
But I live in Weld.
Okay, well,
I think it's Mesa. It's
any attorney in the state can file a lien on that. But you need to find someone to do that immediately. Do not wait, because you only have a certain amount of time from the end of the job to do your intent and then to do your lien.
Okay. Okay. Can I ask you one more favor? Or
go
one
Oh,
ahead.
More thing?
No,
Do
go
you think
ahead.
you could call?
What is your question?
Do you think you guys could call? Do you think you guys could call and try and light a fire?
Yeah,
under
we
their
could do
tail,
that.
so I don't
Who do we, hey, Kachina, who do we have on duty today? I don't want to overload Deputy D here.
Yeah, we have
I'll get it,
Deputy
Tom.
Dollar and Deputy Chopper.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So, Chopper, you're in the studio.
Yes, sir.
Who else is in the studio?
Deputy Dollar.
Okay, cool.
I'm here, Tom.
Okay, cool. Let's do that. Let's call and see if we can light a fire, so to speak. Thank you, Jason, for calling. 303-713-8255. Dan McKenzie's with us. I have a quick question for Dan. Or actually, Dimitri, you have one. What is it?
So, over my lifetime, I've learned a lot about how to do stuff right by also learning how not to do it. So what is wrong with this possible scenario? Instead of hiring someone like you to write up my will, why wouldn't I just simply write up everything I want to have happen, including whom I want to have what, have the letter notarized, and give it to my beneficiaries, possibly with a small stack of signed blank checks to all of my accounts? Now, I'm not suggesting this is the proper way to do it. I realize this is the improper way to do it, but I'm wondering why it's improper, because I think that will help me understand the reason to do it properly.
I mean, are your beneficiaries authorized to sign? You said the checks are signed.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would
obviously.
just write it.
Pre-signed by you?
Yeah, pre-signed blank checks. And I'll say, look, when I die, in this letter, I want you to have all of these accounts. Here are the blank checks. Just write.
When are you going to give me that check? Anyway.
I mean, the probate process is an orderly process for making sure everybody has the information and knows what's going on, and somebody's in charge and has a responsibility to other people. I mean, this is...
I would say that's a weird way of doing it, but there would be nothing wrong with him doing that, right?
I mean...
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, there's no way that will is going to be any good. It's going to have ambiguities in it. It's going to miss stuff that you don't
But
know
what
about.
about the blank checks? If I had a check from Dimitri signed, and he dies, and I know he has 50 grand he said I could have, what would prevent me of writing a check on that account?
Why wouldn't you just write a bigger check?
Well, because I don't want it to bounce.
You're creating a fertile.
I don't want it
fraud.
to bounce.
Okay.
So would anyone protest if a day after he dies, a check shows up at the bank? Would they honor it?
Well, they would honor it, right? Because they have no idea that I died.
Well, yeah. Okay. So now you're committing fraud.
Wait, that's fraudulent?
To cash a check for somebody who's dead and not tell them they're dead?
Really?
Sure. You're taking money out of a dead person's account. I mean, immediately that bank is going to lock that account. If they find out he's dead.
Okay. All right. Okay. It's not proper.
Okay.
In a nutshell.
And
but
so
what
the
about
authorized letter? I understand is improper, but I'm just wondering why it's improper.
What do you mean improper?
Improper. So
what do you mean?
Well, it's not a will.
It's not an ideal way to distribute his assets. He wants to know you're looking for a quick and easy way to distribute assets.
With two beneficiaries, my nephew and my niece.
Why not just put designated beneficiaries on the account?
I already did that.
Okay, well that's
okay. A death on what do they call it? Death.
Actually, my bank called it beneficiary, and all they asked.
So then they automatic. Then you've done it already. If you put them as due on death for them, payable on death certificate for your nephew and niece, that's done. You did it.
Your will is not going to control that at all.
Right. Okay. Another thing you can do. And there's all kinds of tricky things you can do. It's better to do it the right way. But payable on death certificates on accounts are really easy.
And by the way, I do intend to do it correctly.
But that is correct.
Assistance.
You already did payable on death. That's correct. That is correct.
The rest of my stuff, for example, the sale of my business. I already know a company that wants to buy it for a fair price, and I want them to pay my beneficiary for that company. And the only other asset I have is my home. So
how do they know who that person is? How do they know who your beneficiary is?
You have to have a will. Now, you could have. This is getting a little complicated, but you could have an LLC. It's a poor man's trust that owns that stuff. And you could make your niece and nephew members of the LLC. And you can have your membership interest go to them upon your death. So it literally doesn't hit your estate. They have an LLC, and it's simply, I call it a poor man's trust. But Dan, is that considered weird?
I mean, I don't know if it's a poor man's trust. The benefit of a trust is it puts one person in charge, right? In an LLC, you just got to set it up correctly to make it clear, here's how we deal with conflicts.
Yeah.
Because a trust is going to make that.
An LLC operating agreement can do everything you want, really, an LLC, and survive your death. Because on your death, your ownership goes to the survivors. I've done LLC operating agreements like that, where with my wife or with someone who, when I die, they get it all, and there is no probate, there is no estate. It just is an LLC, and that LLC is an entity unto itself, like a trust is. But what Dan said is correct. In a trust, you can be very specific about distributions and who's in charge and who makes decisions. And then, so in an LLC, and I don't know why I call it a poor man's trust. I just figure it's cheaper to do than a trust, Dan. Yes? No?
I mean, I've used LLCs for situations. One of your callers, actually, if you remember the guy who had the farm and all the debt and all that kind of stuff. Working on it and using LLCs to do that.
All right. So we got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. I'm running a little late, so we'll be back right after this.
That's ironic, talking about payable upon death and being late.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino. Now, Michael Brown tomorrow morning at 6:30.
No,
Denver.
I was just telling Kelly, look, the late Tom Martino here not going to break on time.
Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
Got a nice, quiet midday drive out here for us so far. A little bit of volume on I-25 South coming into downtown through Spear, 270.
Hey,
up
I have a question for Mike Wink, if we can get him on. He's a bankruptcy attorney.
Side also, it's eastbound at Colfax.
Roger that. We'll get the wink.
Back up in the area. Santa Fe, northbound at C470 out of Highlands Ranch. Slight delays there. There's no rock scaling right now anyway on I-70, so it remains open. It's 40 minutes from Golden up to the Eisenhower Tunnel. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The art of granite is one of the few places that I know of with home improvements that will give a price on the phone. Mitch Floria said, you know what? I love doing countertops, and I have such a simple structure that I can give prices on the phone. Why? Because, first of all, tear out and haul away is always free. All materials are wholesale for the countertops, and he only charges for the fabrication and installation. So you can call and get a price on the phone for beautiful countertops, not just granite, any man-made material or natural stone. The Art of Granite would be happy to accommodate. TheArtofGranite.com, 303-386-5919. Take a pic, take some measurements, get your price on the phone. 303-386-5919. Hey, fixed indexed annuities, what the hell are they? Well, it's an instrument that you buy that guarantees no loss of the principal or of the gain it makes during its life. And then you tap it for income, and it's guaranteed income for life. And if you don't take all of it, the remainder is left to your heirs. It takes a lot of risk out of retirement planning. If you're interested in such an instrument, Joe Chiano offers them, 303-779-6600, and you can reach him at mymoneymyway.com.
You're the best.
Okay, brother. Now, let me get to my food. This is the most important thing. Damn. DoorDash. I should have ordered a while ago, but I was doing this pesky show. Chick.
Good morning, Troubleshooter Show. Would you like to talk to Tom and the gang?
Phil A. Okay. Now, they have, you don't want the nuggets? You don't want
Ding, ding.
Well, I'll take the
Good,
nuggets.
but don't run
I
off
can
with
just
it.
scrape the breading off of them.
They're not heavily breaded at all.
Or the strips, whatever's the bigger piece of meat.
Okay, let me look at that. That's a good point.
Tom can't determine that.
What?
What the bigger piece of meat is.
Chicken strips, that's what you want.
Speaking of euphemisms, we thought that maybe that was what Jason was up to. I went to my buddy's trailer park. He said he had a leak that he wanted help with. What's that? What, sir? What? What were you and your buddy doing for 2 weeks in a car?
Yeah, come on, man. That's
job
not
like
nice. That's not nice at all.
What?
Okay, how many do you want? Do you want 3 or 4 chicken strips? 4?
4,
Yeah,
please.
let's do 4. Okay. And what was, you want Chick-fil-A sauce? I know that for sure. And you want barbecue, right?
Neither. They all have sugar, so I'll
Okay,
just eat
screw you. Just eat the chicken. And then we want sandwiches, right, Dan?
Yep.
That's right. The good old Chick-fil-A sandwich. We love the sandwich. Okay, what do you want on it? You want barbecue? What do you want? Chick-fil-A sauce? What do you want? They probably give it to you on the side. You're going to want Chick-fil-A sauce, right?
Yep.
And then honey mustard or not?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to do 2 of those Chick-fil-A sauces for you. And then I'm going to do mine. And I'm going to do... Oh, they won't let me have one. You little creep.
I understand now. Yeah, so it's so that's his syndicated show. That makes so much more sense.
Okay.
Okay. What's your name, sir? And what is your I understand you love the country.
Any sides, guys? Like fries? Do you want some fries? Or you want a salad?
I like fries.
Okay, good. Do that.
Do you have one?
And then I'm going to do that.
My pleasure. Isn't that what they say at Chick-fil-A? My pleasure.
Oh, they say my pressure.
My blood pressure? No, my pleasure. I am not even pizzas. I can't have food delivered by a stranger. Makes me nervous.
Okay, let me see what I got here. Okay, here we go. Place order. Wait. Yep, I got the regular address because it used to revert to another place, and I didn't. Okay, there we go, baby. The order is being processed.
You made sure to tip, right? So they don't add any secret sauce?
I tip really well. I really do. I never tip less than $10 no matter what the order is.
Right? No, it makes sense. Hey, here you go, guys.
Because who accident? Get the right lawyer on your side. Call Fuller.com. Hi. Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. Daryl? And my other brother, Daryl. Remember that? I'll never forget that. Anyway, Daryl, what's going on, man, with DMV?
No, yeah, it's Daryl, and my brother, Larry.
Okay, that's right. This is Larry. I'm Daryl, and this is my other brother, Daryl. Right. So what's going on, Daryl?
Yeah. So the other day, I went to renew my license in Fort Morgan at the Department of Motor Vehicle, and they had an armed guard standing at the door, wouldn't let me in because you have to make an appointment online. And I said, I'm here, and there's nobody in this room, nobody. And you got 3 people working over there. Doesn't matter.
Well, hold on. Couldn't you have taken out your phone and made an appointment?
Yeah, if I wanted to wait another 45 days.
What? Wait a minute. So they didn't have any appointments open online, but you were there and no one was there and they wouldn't let you in.
There's an armed guard at the door. Wouldn't let me in, and there wasn't a soul in the room. Nobody. So I went out and scanned it on my phone. 45 days later, I can get an appointment. But my question is, COVID is over. It's done. It's a thing of the past.
Right.
Why do you have to have an appointment online? Why?
But here's what I don't understand.
I mean,
how long was that place empty when you were there?
Well, I didn't wait around, Tom, but I didn't wait to see if people were coming in. I just made the statement. I said, there's nobody in here. Well, we have appointments coming. Okay. They might be coming, but I'm standing here right now.
Yeah, and you could have had it
you've
done.
Got 3 people behind the glass not working.
That is so and you could have probably been in and out of there in 10 minutes? What really?
Yeah. So why who makes these rules? Is that a state thing? Is that the governor? Who does that?
You know what? That's a good question. I don't know. I actually don't know who. I mean, DMV would ultimately be the governor, but he's not going to address it. I mean, the only time he'll address it is if California does something and he'll copy it. But I don't really know what to tell you. I mean, who's the head of DMV? Did you try complaining to a supervisor?
Well, they wouldn't even let me in the door.
Wow.
And what I was really shocked about is an armed guard, really? I mean,
I don't get what's going on. I don't think they're all like that. Do they all require appointments, do you know?
Every single one. Every one. I went on the DMV website. You can't get an appointment for less than 20 or 30 days out.
But in a way, if you think about it, hold on. I understand.
Adams County's that way.
I understand your frustration, but if you think about it, I used to hate going to DMV and waiting in those lines, and I don't know if there's anything wrong with an appointment system. It just so happens that you didn't know about it, so you showed up there. I mean, I listen, I understand you're upset and you want to get the word out, right? But I think in reality, though, is your license going to expire in the meantime?
Yes.
So I don't know, man. There's not one office you can make an appointment with. What were you going to say, D?
Tom, so the appointment thing has been in effect for at least 5 years now.
Whoa,
And
no, 5 years?
yeah. I renewed my license about 3 years ago, and it was appointment only. And for me, it was, about a month out, like our caller says. But what I liked about it is when I walked in, they were ready to take care of me.
No, I kind of like that
in a few
too.
minutes.
I like that.
So it's a new system.
Well, yeah, they're ready to take care of you after you wait a month.
Well, it's once again.
I mean, sure, they're going to take care of you. You've waited a month to get in there.
All right, let me summarize it this way.
But you really didn't wait. I mean, you're not like waiting in line. I mean,
Yeah, once again, DMV is providing the punchline to every joke we've ever heard about DMV.
right. And if you looked at that one cartoon, they had the DMV workers were snails or sloths. They were sloths. That's right, not snails.
It's part of the government system, and unless you're going to run for office and change it, then we just got to work within the system.
Now, Deputy Bo has a suggestion. Bo, what were you going to say? Is Deputy Bo there, or Bo? Do you have a suggestion?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, DC. Yes. A caller needs to go on the DMV Department of Revenue website and get a hold of a lady named Heidi Humphreys. She's the director of the DMV for license plates and driver's licenses. I had a big issue with the title. I wrote her a letter, or you think you can call her, and she can cut through the red tape.
But she's not going to make a special exception and make an appointment for him. I mean, it's not going to help him with his issue.
It won't, but for all of our listeners, the DMV needs to change, because going there is like going to a third world country. I get it. I was intimidated with the guy with the pistol on his hip, and you're right. You go in there, there's 40 empty seats, and you just, you can't get in there for an appointment. Some people just don't know how to make an appointment online, but just, she's the lady that can make changes at the DMV. Not for this, but for listeners in general. We're paying the taxes to pay their salaries. There needs to be changes, and I feel for this guy. I had a similar problem.
Okay.
And it takes like to go in there and get a duplicate driver's license. It's ridiculous.
But okay, we say it's ridiculous, but what I'm saying is making an appointment. When you're waiting those 3 weeks, you're not waiting. You're doing your life. I'd rather have it that way than waiting 3 hours at the DMV office. I mean, I used to go there, and sometimes you take that ticket and you sit down and you're waiting hours. I don't see the big problem with making an appointment. I think the biggest problem was Daryl did not know it, so he showed up there. But had he known it, that it was by appointment only, then he could have accomplished what he wanted. I mean, Bo, do you see a problem with appointments? I don't. In fact, the system they used to have sucked.
Thank you. Impact Traffic.
Sorry.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment.
Got it.
Yeah, nice quiet midday drive out.
And Amfin and Sheridan.
25 south coming into downtown through Spear, 270, heading up through Vasquez on the westbound side. And a little construction.
You are so sweet.
Also, it's eastbound at Colfax. Looks like maybe a little bit of a backup in the area. Santa Fe northbound at C470 out of Highlands Ranch. Slight delays there. There's no rock scaling right now anyway on I-70, so it remains open. It's 40 minutes from Golden up to the Eisenhower Tunnel. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
It's Car Care Month, and Summit Racing has what you need for bumper-to-bumper care. Revive the interior, exterior, underhood, and more. Shop SummitRacing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order, $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 4th, 2025.
Sheridan Auto Tech. Honesty, integrity, value, longevity, knowledge, experience. My goodness, I can go on and on. It's exactly what you need in an auto repair facility. SheridanAutotech.com. They do electrical repairs as well. Minor maintenance, major maintenance and repairs, and they can do pre-buy inspections on used cars. 303-455-7242. 455-7242. SheridanAutotech.com. I have been preaching, get rid of high interest debt. You lose money every month when you pay that interest. So what do? I suggest now, since rates are dipping into the 5s or low 6s, you do an equity loan on your house, you can do a line of credit, pay off that high interest debt, then pay off that part of your equity line quicker. At least it gives you breathing room. And AmericanFinancing.net is partnering with me to help consumers get out of this high interest debt. Or you may want to just refi the whole shooting match when your blended rate will be much lower. They can explain that to you, even though it seems like you have a low rate on your home. But if you're paying extra high rates on credit cards and stuff, then when you blend them together and get into the fives, it's a smart move. What I want you to do is call AmericanFinancing.net today and start taking the steps to financial normalcy. 303-695-7000. 695-7000.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
For what? Oh, for the end.
For doing that in a second. Yep.
You can renew online. Everybody is saying that. You don't even have to go in.
Well, and I just looked at the DMV site, and the guy's right, man. It doesn't. And you're right about living your life and not having to sit there surrounded by God knows what sort of bacteria. But it does. The first date that comes up is a month from today. I didn't realize that. That is crazy. But if you're going to streamline it and hardly have any people waiting in there, guess what? Get a smaller office. Once you cut down on your footprint, DMV, start saving us some money there. Who knows how much property those dweezels have in America?
Okay, Eric is going to be ready. So when we get a break in the action after the noon hour, let's get him on.
Very exciting. We'll do it.
Thank you. You know,
Love
Monty,
that
you ought to
Trump
give it
is
a rest.
cutting off Harvard.
Monty should
What's
give
he
it a
doing?
rest.
Is
This
he
guy
the-
hates everything to do with Trump and the administration. Not one redeeming factor.
Where's the cat?
I don't know. But where's your buddy?
She's come around twice.
Oh, she's been here.
Yeah.
All right. I couldn't imagine having somebody live inside my head like Trump does for so many of these.
Oh, so many.
I also have a question for Mike Wink when we can work him in.
No, we know that, right? Didn't you say that after the top? Or were you talking about somebody else?
No, I did.
Are you sure?
Shut up.
Hey, Tom, did you want Wink on?
Shut up.
I'm gonna let you down.
You are
Swear
very
to God.
brave. You are very brave when I'm here. But when I'm there, where I can slap you silly, you don't say anything.
It's different because when you're sitting, when you are here in the building, I feel bad for you, so I'm much nicer.
Okay.
Like, oh, look at him. Isn't he precious? I don't hardly want to kick him in the nuts like normal.
Where's DoorDash? Come on. These guys are on their way already. They're on their way. Libert.
He's getting Chick-fil-A DoorDash.
My Dasher is on the way.
No.
And they say they're going to be here in a
jeez,
minute.
Dude.
That's what they say.
Wow, that's fast. That's faster than Jimmy John's.
Pretty fast.
You guys just ordered a minute ago.
Except I see where the
As a matter
car
of
is
fact-
on the map, and I see where the time is, and there's no way they're making it here in that amount of time. So what happens when they
You
get
don't
to
know that.
zero and they're not here?
I'm
They're
sure
way down the
DoorDash has DoorDash has a way to fold time and bend reality.
Come on, car, you're
But
going
yeah,
in the wrong
the
direction.
Jimmy John's people are psychotic.
Wow, that car just moved like lightning speed. Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Talking to Cliff. Cliff, what's going on with you, Cliff? What's happening?
You may have seen some of these car washes around town, Take 5. I think they also have oil change services.
And it's called Take 5?
I signed up for a monthly.
Yeah?
Take 5.
Yeah.
I signed up for a monthly subscription, and my wife had signed up for a monthly subscription to their car washes.
How do they work?
And discovered, well, so you pay a flat rate. So it's either $16, $22, or I think maybe $27. Tiered different service levels.
All right, hold on. I want to hear about this. Cliff, hang on. I want to hear about how this works. We're running out of time. I'll take you right up after the first. So hang on. I'm Tom Martino. Take 5 car wash. What's wrong with them? We'll find out coming up.
Thank you.
Take 5 car wash. I've never heard of them before.
Yep.
Oh, I have.
Oh, they're around. There are a lot of them. There's one down the street from my house.
Yeah, Tom, they've been buying up a lot of independents. Where a girl gets in with you as you go through the wash.
Oh my God!
What?
Get your head out of like white space videos.
No. Oh, that would be fun. That's it.
She's my turn. That's Warrant. It's a different W.
And they're for unlimited car washes, right? Let's see what happened. I don't know what he's going to talk about, but we'll see.
Tom Martino Show. Tom Martino Show.
All right.
Oh, they really do a good job.
You get the happy ending.
Oh.
How did you meet Gary?
Oh,
oh my God!
I went to my
these
girlfriend's
people
New
are
Year's Eve party 4 years ago, and he happened to be one of the guests there.
Okay.
Just insufferable.
Oh, come on in. Good looking. Oh, okay.
Where's my door dasher? Come on, bro.
What am I doing?
You're almost. Yeah, you're not even almost there. It says he's on his way.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's way down the street, bro. You got a long way to go. I see him driving. He's driving very slow.
No good.
It's funny how it's amazing these apps that try.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
He just forgot to tell me, or us.
The technology we're living with today is
$4,300.
Everything's going AI, though. I mean, when I get in my stupid car,
This
and
is the
I should be able to say,
Right.
Beamer, set the
Jason,
temperature
yeah.
for such and such.
Just
I can
forgot
do
to
that
tell
to a
us.
limited extent
Oh.
right now, but it doesn't know what to do, like with weird shit in between.
I don't know how that would slip his mind.
Exactly.
But, she said she got the check, just got the check back yesterday that she sent because it was undeliverable. And she sent another one out. You know, yesterday.
I can't go number 2 anymore.
And I told the guy, give me the address that she was supposed to. I'm going to just forsake
DoorDash,
send it
you're
up
driving
there.
way too slow for you, brother.
Send it.
I remember what happened to your pizza yesterday.
I'll call you.
That was weird. That was. How did it
I'm
taste
not going
good?
to get in the middle of
Yeah.
how much you owe.
Was there extra sauce on it too?
Extra cheese only.
You've already.
I do extra sauce, extra cheese. It's too sloppy. When I do just the extra cheese, it's really perfect.
Yes, I agree with the perfect part.
What's the car wash problem? Or do we know?
Don't quite know yet.
Pizza today, but
Guy bought
two days in a row. I can't.
something 5, car wash 5. whatever.
Okay.
They've been buying up a lot of it.
Hey, Dollar, what's new, bro? What's new?
What's new, bro? What's new?
What's new?
Dollar,
Hey,
what's
everything,
new?
Tom. It's
What's new?
just been busy this last couple of weeks.
I know. You know, there's nothing more frustrating than watching a DoorDasher on the map when you're hungry. And you're wondering, why is he stopping at those stop signs?
You said that the last time he went around and around looking for you.
No, they know me by now. They know me. I'm known as the good tipper in Cherry Creek Country Club. Hey, you're driving by, bro. You didn't go in the gate. God damn you. He's driving away from me now. You son of a...
And you ordered donuts at midnight.
I did one time. I did. So, okay. So now he went past my gate. I don't even know where he's going. I mean, okay, he's going to the other gate. They must have a DoorDasher gate or something. Okay, now turn right. Turn right. Come on, brothers.
I've never heard of St. Vrain Street in Colorado. There's a Vrain.
I know where Vrain is.
Okay, how do I plug top of the hour Discord plug? Discord. So wait, I can't give all that out. Discord.gg/morons. Is that it? I'm going to go and see if that brings it up. Discord.gg.
I think he's already done it. Tom, it looks like he's already done it in the chat room.
What are you talking about? He's already done
Tim
what?
does it pretty much every hour on the hour, and I'm just seeing one right now.
Okay, it does. It is a good one. I got the Martino morons here. That's okay, Tim. I'll give it a plug. All right. I want to see my DoorDasher because I need him. Okay. Now, wait a minute. Now it looks like he's going light speed. I see him going around the roundabout.
He's lost.
No, he's like this far away, and that's like a mile. He's literally on my street right now. Yeah, he came in the gate. He stopped at the gate. Now he's coming down and turning right onto my street. He'll be there in about, I'll say he'll be there in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Maybe less. Isn't this exciting, people? What? I'm waiting for my food and you're all on the adventure with me? Whoa. Take Far Car Wash offers unlimited membership programs, monthly fee, providing unlimited washes.
10 seconds here, Tom.
Okay, bro.
Keyword on our website, happy. That's happy. Enter it now at khow.com. Keep listening to win on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show, 303-713-8255. Let's get right to the phones. Now, I read about Take 5 Car Wash. They're buying up a lot of independent car washes around town. They're offering this monthly subscription, unlimited car washes. Cliff said that he did a monthly subscription. And what about it, Cliff? Tell me about it.
Okay, so I had one and my wife had one. For me, it works great. It's a business expense. I drive a lot, so I wash my car a lot. It's very handy. My wife, not so much, and decided that she was going to cancel her subscription. So she canceled with them. They said, no problem. We'll just stop charging you the monthly on it. Everything's cool. The next month they charged her again. So she went back and talked to them, and they said, oh, well, that was just a clerical mistake. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it.
What do you mean take care of it? Did they say they would give it credit? What do you mean take care of it?
We'll credit you back. Yeah, we'll give you a credit. And they did. But she called the credit card company and said, I want to permanently stop them from taking this money. They've done it once. I have a feeling that they're going to continue to do it. And they have. In fact, they've tried 28 times to take the money out. And that wasn't enough. They even tried under other names. They tried, I believe, under Auto Wash and some other stuff to get the amount of her previous subscription to that. And it's just annoying that the only way we can really
how many times
stop them from trying.
How many times have they tried?
28. 28.
Now, why are they doing that?
I guess they're either morons or
hey,
don't
insult don't insult my YouTube morons. No. But they're creeps.
Maybe they're dinguses.
Yeah, man. What the hell is going on? Did you call? By the way, did you call them and ask about it?
Yeah, my wife did, and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we can't help you with any of that." Their customer service, we can't help you with any of that. You're going to have to call your credit card company.
Yeah, but
well, the credit card company isn't issuing.
But how does what I don't understand is how do they keep? It's such an easy thing to stop charging. So that means, Cliff, if you ever want to stop, they're going to just keep charging you.
I have a feeling that is going to be the issue that I run into if I decide to stop.
Now, by the way, how much is the monthly?
I can always just cancel the credit card.
How much is the monthly? No. By the way,
my particular deal.
Yeah.
$16.
And how many times do you get there to do a wash?
Oh, I'll probably go there twice a week.
That's pretty cool.
So it's a very good deal.
Now,
even on the next tiers up, the $22 and the $25 or whatever it is, they're still good deals for the volume that I use it.
Wow. Okay. In any case, Cliff, we might want to call there and just say, why do they keep doing it? I mean, it's just kind of amazing that they keep doing that. But I'm glad you're getting the word out. People need to keep track of that. I imagine people are getting auto dinged all the time. My son just did a charge this morning, and it went through on 3 places: Apple, 1 credit card, and his debit card. 3 times for the same thing. I wonder if we ever really start examining these credit cards, how much we're paying for that we shouldn't be paying for. Thanks, Cliff. Appreciate the call. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Is Deputy D on the phone, even though he's here? No, he's not. He has a follow-up coming up. Okay, we'll wait for him. 303-713-8255. So I do have some texts I want to get to. Somebody wants to know. Oh, somebody says the DMV is a step up from the Colorado Payback Program. I gave up a claim I had filed when I had an appointment to meet with an actual person. You don't have to do that for the Colorado Payback. Anyway, they say Colorado has become a third-ranked state. Here's the bottom line, though. Somebody else said you can renew online. You never have to go in ever. Now, is that true? Can you renew online a complete driver's license? Why did I have to go in? I think I had to go in because I believe they make you go in. Go ahead.
Every other time. Yeah, every other time because you need to update your photo.
So you could get by twice with the same photo. And how long is the license good for? 5 years?
5, I think, yeah.
So then every 10 years you have to go in. That's not bad.
Correct, yeah.
That's not bad. Somebody wants to know, we got to get our tax guy on because today is tax day, and somebody wants to know about extensions and money owed. So get Eric on whenever you can, Kachina. We want to use him. And also, I have a question for Mike Wink, a bankruptcy attorney. We have some questions for him. And then we have an update from Deputy D on the salvage title somebody called about. And then we have our guest, Dan McKenzie, to talk about a state law. So anything you want to talk about, give us a call. Somebody else says, Tom, I want to know about putting windows on my home. Your real estate person says you don't get the real value out of that when you put windows in your home. What they meant was it doesn't necessarily add to the price of the home that you're asking. It may be an attractive thing and help your house sell, but it doesn't really increase the price. So is it valuable? Well, yes and no. You don't get penny for penny money back. Sometimes it's better to leave allowances open. Is Eric up right now? I do have a question for him. Eric Reinemer, atlasfirms.com.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Eric, thanks for being here. We have a quick question. The first one is, I have $6,000. I owe $7,500. What do I do when I file my taxes?
I would just pay the $6,500, pay the $6,000, and a month down the road, they'll get a letter back saying you still owe us $1,500. Do you want to do an installment agreement or not? So it's pretty mellow.
Okay, so you don't have to make a note. You just send in what you can.
Yeah, and they automatically will send back a response a month later.
Now, will this monthly payment be what they say it is, or do they negotiate it? Like how do they come up with a monthly installment?
It's actually become very flexible these days. They'll say, let us know what period you want to pay over. It could even be up to 3 years. So a lot of latitude. You get to decide.
And in today's world of interest rates, what are you paying in interest rates?
It's probably going to be at least a 10% rate on it. So just consider it a 10% loan from the IRS.
Okay, but that's, if you think about it, that's almost better than putting on a credit card. What do you think?
Well, it's true. I guess if somebody has a high interest credit card, it's not the end of the world. So it is a pretty easy way just to take the heat off and pay over time, as long as it's not substantial. If it was like $10,000-$20,000, there could also be additional 5 or 10% late payment fees on it. So
okay,
it could be almost a wash with credit cards.
Someone else says that they have to file an extension, and they know they're going to owe money, but they don't have the money right now, but they will have it. Should they wait to file the extension or do the extension? And then what do they do in a case like that where they know they're going to owe money?
They definitely, no matter what, need to file the extension, because then what happens is if you don't file the extension, then when they go to pay, there's not only the interest and late payment penalties, there's the late filing penalties, which can be ugly, like 2.5% a month.
Oh, my goodness. So if they file an extension and don't have the money, do they put a note in there? Do they ask for an installment? What do they do?
You just file it. It could be electronically. There's nothing else to do. You just file it, and that gets them on record, at least having requested the 6-month extension.
But what about the money owed? Will they contact you?
Yeah, they'll get a well, if you just file an extension and haven't filed, they don't know what you owe or not. They'll have to wait until you actually file.
Okay. Will you get a penalty then if you didn't pay on the 15th?
Definitely.
Oh, you will. And is that really is that a pretty heavy penalty for not paying on time?
Yeah, it's a combination of the 8% interest plus I think it might be 1% per month late payment penalty. So it's a blend of interest and penalty.
So that could be 20% a year? Wow.
Yeah, it could definitely get up to that if you're not paying. As long as you file an extension, at least that gives you a valid extension, so you don't get that 2% per month late filing fee. But it really can easily get up to 15-20%. So
okay,
the answer is do whatever you can to get on a program and do it over a shorter period.
Okay, I got a couple more if you can hang on. I got to take a break. 303-713-TALK, 713-825-55. If you have any tax questions, we're answering some of them by text right now. We also have Dan McKenzie for estate law, and then Deputy D has a follow-up on that salvage title we talked about. The woman was convinced she had a wrecked car and wasn't told. We'll talk about that and more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. Renew Home Innovations has the most beautiful showers you'll ever imagine. They convert your shub, the shower and tub, into a beautiful walk-in shower with porcelain walls. That's one of the options they have. Beautiful sheet porcelain. It looks like $1 million and no maintenance, beauty, and definitely it'll stand out. RenewHomeInnovations.com, a couple days to get it done, and then you have all kinds of repayment options. RenewHomeInnovations.com, 303-904-2000.
It's tax season. By now, we're all a bit tired of numbers, but here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number, $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed. Save up to 40% in your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. That's LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
Let's talk about Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. That's where you can plan your retirement. They help you. They become a coach for your retirement. They let you know what elements you need, what elements that you have that you can put to use and how to put it to use. They talk about a nest egg if you're young enough, keeping it safe and growing it. They also talk about annuities, if that would be your cup of tea, or whatever you need to make your retirement comfortable. They also help you with business succession if you want to leave your business to a loved one, a family member, or you want to sell it. Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies, your coaches in retirement. Give them a call and ask them, what can you do for me? rpcenter.com, 970-663-3211, rpcenter.com, 970-663-3211. You know what I love about Discount Bath? I love the words discount bath. I love the idea that you can get a discount bath in any level, whether it's for your rental, your fix and flip, or your dream home. They believe in less profit to give you a better value, and they truly do mean it. You will see how Chris and his team will put together a beautiful bathroom at a reduced price. What I want you to do is go to discountbath.com, answer a few questions, and you get an upload link. That's where you can send a video, walk around, say, hey, I want to do this to this bathroom, I want to do this or that with your phone. You just take your smartphone, take some video and narrate it, and they'll send you a price without ever having to come to your home. Of course, they'd love to come if you want them to, and they can always talk to you about their program, but start by going to discountbath.com, 720-979-2322. How much time do I have?
3.5.
Thanks. I'll be right back.
It's okay. He's been doing radio for 40 years.
I have nothing to say.
He's far more experienced than I.
I'm just hoping that...
Plus, he's got Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I was just hoping that the DoorDash guy got there. That would be a shame. Oh my God, this is such a horrible testimony.
What are they?
Returns, income for life. Call now for a free retirement evaluation and get a free best-selling book by certified financial planner Joe Chiano. 303-779-6600. The book, Smart Money Moves. And it's free. 303-779-6600. Free retirement review and a book. 303-779-6600. Done right, did right by me. We've heard those words before. Hi, Dan Cicchini. For kitchens done right, our forte is custom kitchens. But also, ever since we started back
kitchen or without condensed national time and expense for paid kitchen replacement. How's it done, Todd? Both will install custom hand-rubbed cabinet doors and door fronts and resurface your existing cabinet boxes with a quarter-inch thick overlay not linear. We offer additional cabinets, cabinet changes, sliding shelves, and new drawers. Countertops in quartz, granite, solid surface, or the stunning new laminate. That's the folks you call now. Why? Well, great cash incentives or a special financing rate of 0% with 72 equal monthly payments. Call for details. Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, finished basements, and windows and doors. Done right. Have our work will picture rated done right. CRHI.com, 303-722-2295, 800-362-8370.
Really?
That's nice. Sarah Spain for iHeart Women's Sports, presented by the all-new 2025 Nissan Armada.
She has all her licenses. Agile plus the feature. She has Series 7.
Really? Where's she working right now?
She just left the job. You did Schwab and this temporary job she had. She's looking for a job in financial services. She was at Schwab for over 20 years.
So she's looking for, like, right, to be an advisor? Okay. You're sure of that?
Yeah, I can't go number 2 anymore.
10 seconds.
All right.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Today is tax day. We're addressing just a few things on that with Eric Reinemer from atlasfirms.com. They're a series of accounting offices that serve small businesses and clients, not just business, but they're great. They've been doing my work for years and years and years, and our Troubleshooter Network as well. So, Eric, somebody is calling or texting about, it's a woman, wants to know about innocent spouse, whatever the heck that means. Her husband left her. She says their finances are in shambles, but she had little to do with it, and she suspects there's going to be problems because he hasn't been communicating with her about taxes, and it's the deadline. What is that? What the heck is innocent spouse? Is that something that is an actual term?
Yeah, no, that's a real thing when a spouse has, let's say her husband got into deep doo-doo with unreported income or owes $100,000. She has the ability to file and request free, innocent spouse protection from the liabilities of her husband. So it is a thing because it comes up more and more.
Okay. And so do they actually then say to the husband or wife, yes, you're not responsible for this?
Well, there's a process where you have to file, and you have to file and explain the facts and circumstances to make sure it really is his income, not hers. And there's a whole process you have to go through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, someone says here, I've heard they hired a bunch of new IRS agents. Then I heard Doge laid off a bunch of IRS agents. So what is the situation with the IRS? Are they being more aggressive or less aggressive? And manpower-wise, will there be less auditing?
I'd have to say it's pretty clear there's going to be less auditing because first they hired an extra 10,000 people based on a bill that passed 3 years ago. But now with Doge in there, people are getting laid off, just like all the other agencies that are laying off the probationary new people, and we're even dealing with the IRS in some client situations, and the agent is saying, yeah, we're losing more people every day. So it's pretty clear their staff is being trimmed down, and you can only presume there's going to be less people around to even pursue the normal audit procedures. That's kind of the natural evolution here.
Okay, so Eric, what would you say being tax day is the biggest mistake we make as taxpayers? Is it not filing? I mean, that would be the obvious one. What else? Not paying? What are some of the common mistakes?
Yeah. So here's this. I looked it up while we're offline. The key thing is if you don't number one, if you don't have the money, you still want to file anyway, because what happens is the failure to pay the money accrues at 5% per month on top of the interest, but the failure to file by not even filing an extension is 5% per month, up to 25%. So you can get in a world of hurt if you don't at least officially say you want to extend. That at least gives you 6 more. The worst, really backing up, Tom, the biggest issue is a person not knowing their situation coming into the year. And like they say, the more you plan, the more money you're going to save. And people just need to be proactive and be thinking about things before they get up against a deadline. Just see what their options are.
And speaking of deadlines, we're speaking with atlasfirms.com, the accounting firm we've used as our experts for years. So, Eric, speaking of deadlines, the extension gives you a deadline till when?
6 months. Well, for the person returns is 6 months from today, which is October 15th, and a lot of people have businesses which were due on March 15th and get extended until September 15th.
Okay, and so then that's the final deadline, right?
Yep.
And so people, you've heard it here, atlasfirms.com, and if you need an accounting firm, there's certainly a good one, 303-799-9111. Thank you very much, Eric. We appreciate the last-minute information and tips for the questions we've had. Thank you very much for being on. Okay, Deb, what's going on with your air conditioner? Welcome, Deb.
She's gone. She's gone.
Oh, she's gone. Okay. Anyway, we have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Deputy D has a follow-up on a salvage title. D, without going into the solution, what was her original contention when Amy called the show?
Amy bought a car from a dealership up in Golden, and it immediately broke down. And Amy's allegation was that they sold her a car with a salvage title without telling her, because she found information to that on a report she pulled from some service called Bumper. And the update that I'll provide when you're ready involves my conversations with Rod Greer from JFR and Associates.
And he's not involved in it.
He's not involved in it, but he's our expert on used cars.
Okay.
And he ran that title through 2 services that they use.
Okay, good.
And I have some answers.
All right, we got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show, 303-713-8255. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. For all of your garage door needs, give us a call at oneclearchoicedoors.com. That's 24/7 service for emergency situations, broken springs, services. They have all of their prices on their website, oneclearchoicedoors.com.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Dan Kaplis today at 4, 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Revive Organic Soil Treatment.
Now, freeways are still in pretty good shape, but we've got some slowing I-25 south and even northbound coming into downtown between 6th and I-70. It's sluggish. It's not really jammed up. No problems there, but we do have some off-freeway crashes. One involving a motorcyclist that's closed Arapahoe Road eastbound, east of I-25 at Clinton. They are detouring traffic. It's not only backing up Arapahoe, but the ramps coming off I-25 are also affected. Parker and Dayton on an accident, just getting word out in Littleton at 1 at Wadsworth and Bellevue. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
Spring temperatures fluctuate. Highs in the 80s one day and concerns over freezes overnight the next. Either way, put Revive on your shopping list today. When you apply Revive now, you'll have the healthiest, greenest lawn in your neighborhood. You'll save water, which means you'll save money. Spread it or spray it. Use Revive. It works.
Fix It 24/7 for anything you need in your home, whether it be plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, or drains. Fix It 24/7. We'll do a refurbishment of your air conditioner, a deep clean, and a no breakdown guarantee for just $39 for new customers. They want to show you how extreme they can be when it comes to keeping your systems in tip-top shape. So call for that $39 special before the heat. Fix It 24/7. FixMyHome.com. That's FixMyHome.com. Hey, by now you've heard me talk about Vestera Turnkey, a way to become a landlord without the conventional risks or hassles. They help you identify properties to buy in hot markets. They help you acquire the property, then get a management company to manage it, and they walk you through the process and even take your phone calls so you don't have to mess with it at all. You can get 30 to 80% returns a year. That's what they've been showing for the last 8 years. FesteraTurnkey.com or MyBiggestReturn.com. Or you can call and talk to them personally, and that is Vestera Turnkey, 303-888-3788.
iHeartRadio.
There's always something. I think it's so good that it doesn't need sauces. It's very flavorful and very juicy. Yeah, I wouldn't put any sauce on it, frankly.
Hi, I'm Gary Bell of the law firm of Bell and Pollock. We are injury attorneys, and this is your legal minute. You've been injured in a car crash. You need to prove your injuries to the insurance company so you can get paid. The insurance company for the at-fault party, the one who hits you or rear-ended you or T-bones you. And if you say my neck hurts and you don't say anything else, what do you think the value of that is? Tell me. Right now. Tell me. If you say I hurt my low back in this rear-end accident, it really hurts me a lot. I haven't been to the doctor. What's the value of that? There is a way. There are ways to prove your injuries to the insurance companies, but that's not the best way. Call Bell and Pollock, Gary Bell, Brad Pollock, 303-795-5900, or go to our website, championsofthepeople.com. We'll help you.
Get more information or help from Bell and Pollock at
The way I should have answered your question about Michelle is she doesn't want to be in a sales position.
Oh.
And I think that consultant means sales.
Never. Not with us. We have people knocking our door down.
Oh, in that case.
We truly advise people. We never go out and solicit.
Oh, I misunderstood. I have absolutely no reservations about recommending her for any position in financial services. And don't get me wrong, she won't have a problem finding a job. But it would be great for her to meet a high-quality person like Pat in a very high-quality firm like Wave 8.
I'm telling you, we're so much different, and we, in fact, we don't do any of that. So
that's why I wanted to connect the two. And she lives at the Tech Center, Pantera Plaza.
Surgery-free alternative with no drugs and no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today, 970-684-4256, 970-684-4256.
She's very pedigreed. She started at a white shoe firm.
What does white shoe mean?
White, like old money, very snooty. Gosh, what was it called? It wasn't Payne Weber, but it was Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley was as white shoes they get.
Yeah, they're not anymore. They're run-of-the-mill bullshit.
Yeah, I know.
It's bullshit.
But at one point they were up there, Very hardworking, very smart, and very easy on
If
the
I had to pick a big firm and not have personal advisement, it would be Schwab.
Yep.
They've stood the test of time. They're also really good. Even their advisors aren't bad. I mean, I wouldn't put my life in it, but if I had to pick one, if there was no such thing as personal advisement, I would probably pick them.
So last night I looked up their average account value for self-managed accounts. $382,000 is their average.
For Schwab?
Yeah, for a self-directed account. They report that number every quarter.
I'll tell you what I did that.
Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
10 seconds, guys.
Call Excel Roofing, 303-761-6400.
630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255.
I'm going to go to Michael Wink right now. Mike Wink is an attorney that does bankruptcies, winklawfirm.com. And I had some questions here, Mike. Somebody wanted to say, or someone did say by text, that they don't want to do a bankruptcy, but they might have to. And they wanted to know, what is a good technique for negotiating lump sum settlements, or do they not listen? Do credit cards listen? Do medical people listen? What's the best way to go about that?
Sure. We represent people in bankruptcy and in settling debt outside of bankruptcy very frequently. Those are our two primary areas of practice. To settle debt, you have to go into default. So as long as you're paying the debt, they're never going to negotiate. Like, you might get a break on interest or something, but they're not going to take less than the balance to settle it in full. Typically, that's about, with a credit card, you're talking about 5 months or so into default, they'll start accepting a pretty significant fraction of the balance owed, typically about half.
Really?
And it is good to have cash for lump sum settlements, because lump sums of cash buy down debt better than payment plans do. So in other words, if you say, I'll pay you 50%, but I need a year to pay you, well, you're probably going to have to pay more than 50%. But whereas if you could pay that balance, that 50% amount by the end of the month, the creditor is much more likely to take some kind of discount like that. There's a little more variability in medical bills. Sometimes they've already discounted the bill, and it makes it harder to get more discounts. And then sometimes you can get even a bigger discount, especially if you can show economic hardship on your client. So a lot of times creditors will inquire about that, but certain hospitals and things will really listen to that. I don't find credit card companies particularly moved by
I heard medical bills were easier to settle than credit cards, no?
Well, like I said, I think it's just more variability. So, we've achieved percentages on large medical debts that I don't think we've ever achieved on, like, bank debt. In other words, we've done 10%, 15% on certain medical debt. So
yeah,
in that way, greater savings is possible. But like I said, sometimes I feel like by the time we get involved, the bill has been discounted already. And when from that point, it can be difficult to get more discount off of it.
How do you charge for your negotiating services?
Right. Yeah. Typically, we charge a percentage of the debt. 10% of the debt is our typical charge. And by the way, the primary competitors in the industry, like National Debt Relief, the sort of national players that do debt settlement, they charge like 25%.
So when you say 10% of the debt, when you say 10% of the debt, do you mean 10% of the final amount or 10% of the face value?
Pre-settlement balances. Yep. So it's 10% of the balance before there's the settlement. So you end up paying about 60% with our fees and the settlement amounts.
Okay, I get it. So if someone owes 10 grand, your charge is 1,000. Am I reading that right? Yeah. And then
Correct.
And then you reduce it to whatever you can. And then you try to reduce it as much as possible.
Right. And there's some flexibility on our percentage. So if somebody has like an $80,000 debt, we're not necessarily going to charge them $8,000 on that. We can do
I
a
get
discount, but it all depends on the type of debt and that, the amount.
Okay. And Mike, do you find being a bankruptcy attorney, they know that going in when you're negotiating?
Yes, a lot of times they do. I mean, they know what we do. We file a lot of bankruptcies. So I think we can help debtors credibly threaten bankruptcy when we're trying to settle.
Okay.
Do
you have?
Yeah, I think it helps to have a bankruptcy attorney.
Do you have some collectors or some creditors that just never negotiate? Like, are there just pains in the butt?
Not really. There's some. I wouldn't say they never negotiate, but there's some, like, say, Discover. Discover often insist on 60 to 70%, whereas other banks, you can get to a lower amount. So it's not that they don't negotiate at all. It's just that some are tougher to get better savings from than others.
Okay, and I just got this text saying that she was unemployed, but she had signed up for a community college, and then had a diagnosis, and she thought she was very ill and went through a period of time where she was with surgeries. She never contacted the school. She never went back to the school. And now the community, it's Arapahoe Community College, is asking for full payment of all of those courses. Did you ever negotiate educational debt like that for hardship?
Absolutely. And by the way, that debt, as long as it's not a student loan, which it sounds like it's unpaid tuition, which is technically not a student loan, that debt is dischargeable in bankruptcy. So that gives you more leverage to negotiate a settlement. It's much harder to settle student loans.
Okay. Have you dealt with educational facilities before or institutions, and are they easy to deal with?
Yeah. I wouldn't say easy to deal with. We have dealt with them before. I'm confident that we could get some savings. That would fall into the further you get away from bank debt, the more variability in the outcome you might see, which is a double-edged sword, right? There's opportunity there. You might get a great settlement, but they could be a little stickier too.
Okay. And do they take a look at the financial strength? Do they investigate who's doing the negotiating? Not you as an attorney, but the person. Do they know anything about the person, or do they ask information about them?
They do sometimes ask information. I think they do sometimes know information. I'm not sure, especially if the debt is older. I'm not sure, like all of the methods of skip tracing and ways that they can find out about what debtors have at home, but a lot of times we share information, especially when we think it's beneficial towards.
Yeah, like if it's a young person who's hardly working, and there's a prayer they're going to get paid. It seems to me they might be more apt to want to negotiate.
Yeah, I think I always tell people that rather than fighting on the merits of the debt, focusing in on the debtor's inability to pay, I think, is the most compelling negotiating tactic when you're trying to settle that. And it sounds like for example, in this particular, person, she was ill, I think is what you said, was able to go. I mean, all of that we would definitely incorporate into the negotiation.
All right, thank you. And Dimitri has a question. Deputy D, go ahead.
Thank you, Tom. Mr. Wink, in the context of defaulted credit card accounts, as you know, those are pretty quickly sold off to junk debt buyers, such as Midland Funding and LVNV and other revolting bottom feeders like that. What are the odds of renegotiating whatever they're trying to collect on a pre-litigation basis? Are they pretty open to that? And if so, roughly what percentage of the face value of the original debt do they accept for, let's say, a 4 or 5 years ago defaulted credit card account?
You're talking about people who buy up the bad debt.
Yeah, there are multi-billion-dollar companies that bottom feed in this industry. LVNV is one of them.
Are they easy to deal with, Mike?
Yeah, we deal with them all the time. And much like the banks, some are easier to deal with than others. But I tell people that collections is where deals get done. A lot of times the bank doesn't offer much, and then it goes to collections, and that's when you can get your best deals. And debts that are older, 3 to 5 years, those are ripe for settlement.
For how much?
They're ripe for settlement. Now the risk, I would say you're in that 40 to 50% range.
And what's the
risk? The risk is the longer the debt goes out, if they sue you, which is different than a debt buyer, but if they hire a local attorney, now they're going to sue you, and then the cost of the settlement goes up. So, I would say on average we're in the 50% range. Oftentimes, if we get it settled before a lawsuit, we're really doing better than 50%. But once the lawsuit hits, you're in the 60 to 80% range typically to settle a lawsuit.
Mr. Wink, I've learned that they buy this debt for literally 2 or 3 cents on the dollar. Is there any truth to that?
I don't know what they pay. I don't know what they pay. But like I said, I know the collections are a good time to negotiate. And even when the bank says they're going to send it to collections, I think that's a good time to negotiate because they're about to take a loss. So, let's explore how low we can go before they do that.
Yeah, because if they know they're going to sell to a collector for pennies, they might want to just do a better settlement with you guys, right?
Correct. And sometimes they hire a collector. So sometimes they're selling the debt, and sometimes they're going out of pocket to have a collection agent work on the loan. both of which are good opportunities. And I think both of which, if you can catch them before they pay that or they take that loss, again, it's a good time to try.
Have you ever been able to avert enough debt and settle enough debt that someone who came to you with a bankruptcy ended up not having to do a bankruptcy?
Absolutely. Now, I want to be clear that, if my view is if bankruptcy is your best bet, that's what you should do, right?
Okay.
So I'm not, no, and sometimes it's a close call, right? Bankruptcy can require people to repay debt, sometimes a lot of debt. And so it's those people who we end up encouraging to settle debt because it's cheaper.
Right.
And, we've settled, over $150,000 for people, $200,000 of debt. And the challenge then, though, is coming up with the cash to get the settlements in before the lawsuits start coming.
Do the creditors ever want to know where the lump sum is coming from?
Yeah, they ask.
So,
and,
I mean that.
There's certain answers that we can give them that are good. Like if it comes from a retirement account, for example, that's a protected source that they're never going to get otherwise.
What if it's coming from a friend?
Family.
What if it's from the family? Like, do they look at that as a weakness? Maybe the family will pay more, or do they look at that as we better take what we can get?
It depends, on the circumstance. It really depends.
Okay.
But I find the most effective tactic is radio silence, for periods of time, and then you come and negotiate. And if there's not something good, back to radio silence for 3 to 4 months, and then you come back at them.
All right. Thank you, Michael Wink. It's winklawfirm.com, 720-523-0620, 720-523-0620. We have more coming up. Very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's...
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
Starting on the south end of town, a crash has Arapahoe Road eastbound closed between South Boston Street and South Dayton Street. That's just east of I-25. We are seeing stop traffic back from Greenwood Plaza Boulevard with detours around. North of there, some usual slowdowns, I-25 northbound into the downtown area. Slower speeds between 6th and Colfax, only adding about 1 or 2 minutes to your commute. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Hey, do you want new countertops for the coming beautiful weather and then going into the fall and holidays? You want to get them done now. This is when you get them done. TheArtofGranite.com will give you a price on the phone right now. You call them up, tell them what material you want, whether it's granite, quartz, quartzite, marble, any kind of man-made material or natural stone. They'll give you a price on the phone. Give them a little layout, maybe a pick or two. They'll let you know what they need. Call them and get a price on the phone that you can depend on. They give prices because they're proud of their deals. TheArtofGranite.com, fabrication and installation is what they charge for. They do wholesale on all countertop materials, and tear out and haul away is always free. TheArtofGranite.com, 303-386-5919. Get your price, 386-5919. Now, you just heard me talk to an attorney about getting rid of high-interest debt, settling debt, getting out of debt. My whole theme has been get rid of high-interest debt and start your way to financial freedom. One way to do that with lump sums, right? And you can tap the equity in your home to do that. You can do that through AmericanFinancing.net. They have home equity loans right now, and the terms are very favorable. You can ask, you can call and get their advice on a home equity loan or a complete refi that'll get you out of high interest debt. AmericanFinancing.net has partnered with me to help consumers get on their way to financial freedom away from high interest debt. 303-695-7000. Call them today. Don't let it keep mounting. 303-695-7000. AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS.
Shield ceramic technology is specifically formulated for our unique climate right here in Colorado, and it's Class 1 fire rated.
So the Rhino Shield crew that came out was really good. Next to our
DoorDasher, you're done.
automotive repair shop, there was no paint, no overspray anywhere that I could see on the concrete.
Business or residential, get
No, it's not. Yeah. I mean, at school?
Yeah.
Guess not.
I don't think of paint as an investment, but when you don't have to worry about painting your building for 25 years, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Owner Jim Williams.
This offer is limited, so call me at 844-317-4466. That's 844-3199
Oh.
or Rhino Shield CO.
Is he done with? Okay. I didn't know he was done with Michael.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the driver's license call. What do you have on that?
Well, it turns out you can renew online.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We talked about that.
We not during the call.
No, but we did after we talked about
Are
it.
you like not talking? Or
I must have been.
Did you talk to him?
I don't know what's going on.
I talked to somebody else. About
Yeah. And we had 3 people tell us they've done it online. No waits. As long as the picture is less than 10 years old.
I didn't know we were done with them.
That's less than a year old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about, aren't they?
Bygones.
Yeah, you can renew it. Online.
The only thing I know for sure is
Yeah, I can't go number 2 anymore.
Yep. I can't go number 2 anymore.
Yep.
I might have to go in my next renewal.
He cannot.
Maybe because of my eyes or age or something.
No, you just swear that your eyes are good.
Yeah.
Tom, I got a quick question.
Yeah. For who? Me?
Yes. Or Dimitri. Is there any statute whatsoever that says that you have to produce an invoice in order to collect a bill from a company that you did services for?
No. There's no law that I know of. No.
But it helps in small claims.
That's what I thought. I looked it up, and
But I mean,
couldn't
document.
find it.
I mean, obviously, it would help. I mean, otherwise, what do? You just say you owe me the money?
Well, that's what I ran into with dealing with that call I took. The woman says he didn't send me an invoice.
Which woman?
That trailer park thing where the guy did 50 hours at $50.
Oh, and that's what they said. They didn't get an invoice.
That's what they're claiming, but I'm working around it.
Could be a stall tax.
It's a stall tax.
Send me an invoice.
10 seconds here, guys.
Another week, 10 days.
Dan Caplis, afternoons at 4 on 630 KHOW. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So Deputy Dimitri has a follow-up. So a woman calls up about her car and says she thinks she has a salvage title. It was never disclosed to her. And she found that out how? How did she find out? Or what did she say led to her discovery?
Well, she ran a vehicle report on some service that none of us have ever heard of
Called
called
Bumper.
Yeah. And Bumper maintains that this is either a salvaged or a branded title vehicle. So, as you know, we had Kevin Culkin from Sheridan Autotech ran a Carfax. And the Carfax, which is a very reputable company that we're all familiar with, doesn't have any indication of either salvaged or branded title. So to break that tie, I went to JFR and Associates, and as you know, we have a great contact over there named Rod Greer. And I wanted to get his advice on it. I sent him photographs of both front and back of the title, and Rod at JFR ran it through 2 of the services they use. He ran it through Carfax again and another service called AutoCheck. And he told me that based on the results of those 2 checks, it's a clean title. There is no indication of branding.
I guess she thought because Copart
was the one that sold it to her.
Yeah, Copart sold
Or,
it to
or
the
excuse
dealer.
me, Copart sold it to the dealer.
Yeah, and so she suspected that, well, that must have been
An insurance
salvage.
wreck.
Yeah, which is a reasonable assumption because Copart sells insurance wrecks. However, according to Copart's website, they also claim that they're premier auction site for what they call clean title cars. So that's not an automatic indication of a salvage vehicle. But these two services that JFR accessed said that, hey, it's a clean title. Of course, that still leaves the possibility of that title having been washed.
And remember, when you called the dealer, they weren't very.
No, they were very unsophisticated about how they handled it. They just didn't even want to talk about it. But if they have nothing to
It sounded suspicious to me when you called them, and they wouldn't even talk about it.
Yeah, that's why I was suspicious. So my suspicion was based on the fact that they refused to discuss this matter with me.
Anyway, Kevin Calkin inspected the car and verified the engine is bad.
Shot. Done.
It's shot.
10 grand.
She's going to need a new engine.
She's going to need a new car.
Okay. I'm Tom. Oh, yeah, because it's not worth investing, probably. So I'm Tom Martino. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. 303-713-TALK. Get your calls in. 303-713-8255. Okay. Now, I'll be right back, man. All right.
Don't threaten me.
Hey.
Yeah, I can't go number 2 anymore.
I think, like, he's ruined. I don't think he's ever gonna call again.
This is a screaming deal. Restrictions apply. Call for details. 761-6400. Excel Roofing. You don't pay a cent, and so you're content. 303-761-6400. ExcelRoofing.com.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeart radio station. Make us the #1 preset on the free iHeart radio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. And Texas health officials confirming 20 more measles cases since Friday. That's a total of 561 cases in the state. The majority of cases, those who are unvaccinated or vaccination status is unknown. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. attended the funeral of one of the 2 children who died in Texas. Both were unvaccinated.
Healthy children should not die of measles, and there's no reason they should. If the doctors know how to treat it in the hospital, that will not happen.
RFK Jr., who's expressed skepticism in vaccines over the decades, now urging people to get vaccinated. There are more than 700 measles cases nationwide. A judge has denied bail for the suspect in the firebomb attack on Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's residence. Cody Ballmer being held on charges including arson and attempted murder. In New York City, jury selection beginning today in the newest sex assault trial of movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. He's pleaded not guilty to charges. This is ABC News. It is April 15th. Have you filed your taxes yet?
This is Jim Ryan. Millions of middle-income taxpayers leave money on the table by failing to take the Earned Income Credit. Every year we have too large of a percentage of people who are qualified for it, but they don't claim it. Says Luis Garcia of the IRS. And if you don't claim it, you don't get it. The EIC can be as high as $7,800 for families with 3 kids. That's on top of any refund those families are due. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
The tax deadline to file midnight tonight. Today marks 2 years since the civil war began in Sudan. UNICEF outlining the largest humanitarian crisis, saying 15 million children alone facing hunger, violence, and disease due to warring military groups. That has doubled since 2023. Millions have been displaced. UNICEF's executive director says the rainy season is coming that could add to the dire humanitarian situation. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
When disaster strikes, keeping in touch with family and friends and reaching public safety officials is critical. To prepare for power outages caused by severe weather or other conditions, you should create an emergency communication plan. First, check important cell phone contacts, including veterinarians, utilities, and insurance companies. and make sure that person knows if you have medical issues. Also, make sure everyone in your house knows how to text. Check backup batteries for all your phones and fully charge cell phones, batteries, and rechargers. Sign up to receive mobile phone alerts. Back up and print out important personal data. You might buy a battery-operated, solar-powered, or hand-cranked radio or portable TV to monitor news. Start preparing today. For more info, go to fcc.gov/emergency.
KHOW News Time, 103. DNA evidence lawyers say was mishandled by a former CBI analyst facing numerous charges results in the release of a man convicted of murder. Michael Clark convicted in 2012 of the murder of a Boulder man. After the issues of CBI analyst Missy Woods came to light, Clark's lawyers asked prosecutors to revisit the case. Boulder County DA Michael Doherty says they requested a retest of an important piece of evidence.
Based on those results, but also the issue of juror misconduct, as well as the possibility of ineffective assistance of counsel, we agreed with the court that the conviction should be vacated.
A hearing has been scheduled for June, where it will be determined if the evidence supports retrying the case or if it will be dismissed. A former Democratic congresswoman wants her old job back. Yadira Caraveo announcing today she will run for the District 8 seat held by Republican Gabe Evans. The 2024 election between the two was decided by fewer than 2,500 votes. That's the latest. I'm Chad Bauer.
Now, Impact Traffic. This report is sponsored by Rocket.
Over on the west side of town, a serious accident has Federal Boulevard southbound closed just south of Colfax Avenue. Deeper in place with crews and police on the scene. Best to avoid the area and keep slow traffic around. On the south end, another closure. Arapahoe Road eastbound.
Last hour.
Yeah.
Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com, a single seamless home ownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, even refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com. The new home for all things home ownership. Rocket owns a dream.
Right.
You know, I've heard that before. Like, if you're in an auto accident, they send you a check for $4,000 and you endorse it, then that's the end of
I don't think it prevents you from more money. Like, in the case of an auto accident, they would have a document or print it on the check and like full and the final settlement.
I've seen that. You know, I did
Right.
a long time.
But just because you endorse it doesn't necessarily mean.
That's what Google's saying. It doesn't necessarily.
Right.
But yet I've seen that. And it's always been honoring claims or a hail claim for your house. This ends.
Right. There could be some wording on that.
Denver's Talk Station has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Grand.
10 seconds here, guys.
KHOW.com. Keep listening to win on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Tom? 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 Tom, we don't have you, buddy. Call him. Tom! nothing.